Welcome back, everyone, to another episode from the Lich's Archives. We've changed our name. Don't ask why, it's just the way things are. So, we're back with the Freeman mini series. This will be episode 5. Getting into this with the exact same cast. You should know everyone by now. But, I'll probably rush through introductions this time, unless you guys want to reintroduce yourselves. What do you guys say? Feeling chatty?
I'm interested in getting you to pronounce my name. So,
Alright, so I'll start with you then. We have James, the two-in-one, playing Seal a Day.
you did it!
I did it. I did it. I'm
Congratulations.
learning. I'm a learning machine. We have Justin playing. Oh my god,
Fizzlewitz.
I've swapped one name for another. Yes, Fizzlewitz, the halfling artificer.
I
Seal the
think you
Day
probably,
is
I
a
think you
bard?
probably stood in front of the mirror for an hour practicing the name.
Yes, yes, I did. And practicing stroking my beard at the same time so it looked more organic. And lastly, we have Ariel, or Lady Knight, playing the bioforged monk. Last time we left off, you guys have made your way to the town of High Meadows. Did a
Yep.
little sleuthing around. The group split up, going there one way with Roswell, looking into what he had to, finding a informant that had a streak of bad luck by the look of it, while the other two went off exploring what happened in this town, looking into the blacksmith and the butcher shop, going to the keep and finding some weird tunnels between one room and the next, figuring out that something's went on here that isn't quite right, and then realizing you should probably get back together, reconvene, and share your information just in time for Fizzlewitz to inform you guys that you found what Henry was looking for. With the use of a deadly fart and the ability to turn off one's breathing apparatus, we managed to secure this chest from the insects, escape from this as best as we could, um, and make great haste back to the mini ground shaker. Went ahead of everyone else, and they ended up running into some weird canine figure. He was accompanied by quite a few bugs. That's kind of what his voice sounded like. You're not wrong. Um, it was a very short meeting between the two as he realized the other three were coming up quick to so he quickly gave a warning of be gone, stop what you're doing, don't look into this, before he disappeared in his clouds of bugs, letting the wind take him away from here. With that, we'll be jumping back in at this part. So you guys are outside of this town of High Meadows. Everyone has
Yes.
just now recently caught up. The gate is open. Is standing up there as your group approaches. How are you feeling at this point? What would you like to say as these guys are coming towards you?
I'm like twisting one of my arm joints and like testing it, and it's catching in a couple of places. I turn to you guys as you approach. I require repairs.
To verify, we did end up seeing the little kerfuffle on the steps to the.
Yep, you got there just at the same time as you watch runs towards them, blade drawn, and as they like cut towards them, he just kind of like almost disappeared in his swarm before taking off.
What was that? That was ghastly.
I am unaware what that was, but it appears they have left. So, inconsequential.
I don't believe so. That was man-shaped.
What was that?
Looked like a thousand bugs wearing a man suit.
I don't know, but whatever it is, I'm gonna hold up my elbow towards Fizzlewitz. They got stuck in my joint.
Ew. I'll like pry that thing out, and while she's distracted with that, I'll slip out a little syringe and just jab it into her and cast Cure Wounds at level 2.
Okay.
Would that work for me, since technically the Warforge is immune to healing magic?
It's
We're about to
fine
find
because
out.
you're bioforge. Oh, exactly. We'll see. We'll see. What'd you get on your rolls?
7, 8, 9, 13.
13. Um, I don't think that's an actual thing with Warforge. I want to say, for the sakes of this, as you being a bioforge, he manages to, like, because he's already down there, right? He's up close, personal with your elbow, getting intimate at this point with his tools. He sees the patch of flesh, and he goes, well, there's bloodstream in there, and he lines it up just right that this needle, like, sticks in, and you feel like almost like this rush of adrenaline, and you feel like your wounds kind of react to this, and you're able to, like, close your wounds a bit quicker. And the healing does work.
Awesome.
And your elbow is no longer stuck. Fizzle, what you do pull out of the joint, though, seems to be
No, I'm gonna give it some in a minute.
one of those giant wasps, the same thing that was kind of guarding the chest in the warehouse. One of those, but it's a bit more mashed this time, very similar colors, though, and you can place it as one of those, even with the head missing, and various other legs splayed in weird broken directions.
Once again. Ew. Here you go, Chishik.
Sure.
Little souvenir.
Trying to pull up my things.
At this point, Henry's just going to kind of speak up and go, with him gone, though, maybe we should work on getting out of here, then?
Did you get everything you came for?
I mean, I haven't gotten a close look at that box. I was a little worried about running into whoever opened it, but it seems that's already happened. Maybe we should definitely get on the move here, and we have one of two options. I could take a look at that box, try to figure out if maybe there's something he missed, or I could send a message to someone, but that might have some risks of its own. But whatever was in this box, or whatever my friend was looking into before his demise, it's really quite important to me that we do try to get to the bottom of it, whether or not it's dangerous.
I mean, I'd rather not stay outside of the big city as long as possible, but wasn't the point to come out here and aid you with whatever you needed to do?
It is, so that's exactly why we should get on with what I want to get on with, and
And
worry
I believe
about
the
everything
chest
else.
is. I think the chest takes priority here. If that is what you came for, then
He starts to make his way up the ramp, and as he's, once he gets up there, he like looks towards you, and he goes, "Do you still have it? Do you mind?"
I still have it, yeah?
And he'll hold out his little paw towards you.
I pick up the box and offer it to him.
He'll grab it, and then he'll kind of like look around and go to like his usual seat and strap himself in. What are the rest of you doing as he's like fiddling with the clasps and trying to like? He's very awkward, now he has a box balanced on his hip, but on his lap, but he's not the best with these straps, so like keeps almost falling off, and he keeps like trying to grab it and pull it back.
I'll help him. Strap him in like a mother tucking her 2-year-old into the car seat.
You just want to touch his fluffy fur, don't you?
No,
He is quite fluffy.
the fluff interferes with my gears. Although in reality, I would love to pet one. Is just an idiot.
Gets a little fur stuck in there as you pull your hand away. Ooh, ah. Alright.
Perhaps you should shave.
Alright, and
is there anything in there?
well, I haven't looked at it yet. I'm just
Well, hurry.
You want to do
Not
it
made of
now
time.
instead of
Jeez,
getting
he
on
just
the
sat
move?
down.
Alright, fine. And he's going to like take a moment here. He's going to undo the straps, and then he's gonna like set the box down on the floor in front of him, and then he's gonna go, a little privacy, might be nice.
So I shouldn't start driving?
Well, I mean, I was hoping you guys would be distracted with the driving while we do this, but
It's
I
cute
don't
how you
mean to be
all
rude, but there's
the
different levels of government involved here, and there's certain. What I'm about to do cannot be repeated under any circumstances.
It's fine. I've got other things to do.
I shall temporarily disable my long-term memory then.
Wow,
Well,
that must be useful.
uh, just don't forget to turn it back on later. Or that he kind of like he makes himself busy, like he kind of like tries to like put his back towards you, like he tries to like cover up as much as he can as he like starts to go over this box, and he's kind of like whispering underneath his breath.
I wanna be like
Dropping
combing and
some
brushing my
eaves.
hair. Exactly. I want to be like combing and brushing my hair and using a mirror and like admiring myself in the mirror, but angle it just enough that I can kind of see. I want to see if I can see some of what he's doing.
Alright, can I get a perception check from you?
Kid you not, that is a nat 20. Now let's see. I have expertise in perception because Bard.
Okay,
So that is a 28.
20. And Fizzle, what are you doing all of this?
I'm actually going to sit down, strap in, and turn away from him. And I'm going to pull out those 5 wands that I found last time and start ritual casting Identify on them.
Ritual casting identify on the 5 wands. You got it. Let me double check, then I got these. Fantastic. Got it. I'll let you know what those are. Let me just deal with this quickly. And you have your memory disabled. Are you just... What's,
I'm gonna check over everybody's straps on the seat, and then I'm gonna start driving.
Okay, so
Do you-
you're on a...
Can I just ask a quick question? You disabled your long-term memory.
Yeah.
Knowing how to drive was in your long-term memory.
No, it just means that I don't get anything
They're
else
short
added
term.
to the
They
long-term
disabled their
memory.
short term.
Yeah, whichever one means that like I don't remember what happens for the until I turn it back on.
I'm fairly certain you said long-term, but I'll let this one slide.
Well, listen to what they mean, damn it.
Yeah.
The conversation of their soul, if you will. So, you're listening in, and what languages do you speak?
Sirlide speaks Common, Elvish, and Goblin.
Okay, and are you proficient with Arcane?
Yes.
Okay, so you can see that he's kind of using different passwords. Some in languages you get, some are in Elvish, some are in a few other languages you don't understand, and it looks like he's going over wording magic as well as like various enchantment magic, and it looks like he's like removing some and activating others. It's almost like he's going over a puzzle box. Partway through, you
Okay.
realize he actually kind of like gets confused, and he like resets everything, and he starts again with the same process, but then he goes a different way, and he checks one drawer, closes it, resets it, goes to another way to a certain point, branches that path off, checks that one, and this happens about 2 to 3 times, and then he pulls out what seems to be a map from one of the compartments that opened earlier that was completely empty. He goes, "Oh, I guess we did find something that was missing. Well, I guess, I might as well let you guys see this." And he closes the box, resets it, sets it off to the side, and, like, he starts to pull this map out. Are you still starting up the vehicle, or are you changing?
I mean, if we're looking at this, then I'll look at it as well. I don't even know if it's probably curiosity. Just it's here.
You might want to turn on your memory now. I think we're good.
Turn on what memory?
The short term you disabled?
Who disabled my short term?
Why don't you just turn it on and we'll worry about the who, what's, and when's later.
Okay, I'll turn back on my memory.
That's an awful lot of a headache for a piece of paper?
Okay. Now, you, Fizzle, you're a little busy doing your ritual casting of it, unless you're using spell slots. So far, you got through one so far, and it's a wand of goo.
Goo?
Yeah, so you can, once a day, basically, you can throw this thing. It'll be a dexterity saving throw to get out of the way. And if not, you can stick one object to another or one body part to an object once a day. So, and it's a DC 14 to dodge, and if they get hit, it's a DC 16 strength to break away from it.
So wait, is this a wand of goo or a wand of glue?
Goo. And it
Why
shoots
not
like...
both?
It's basically glue, but it shoots out like this like lime green glob.
Okay.
So
dig
DC
it.
14 to dodge. If they fail, DC 16 of strength to get up, free themselves. It does dissolve after about 5 minutes, though. But for
So
5
10 years in
minutes, you can
combat.
just like stick someone down. Make sense?
Interesting. Yeah.
Okay.
I'll
And
stick
you continue with the other ones. That's the first one you got. The map that
I'll
he...
stop after the first one, just to take a look at the map.
Okay. So the map he lays out, it's quite large, and it seems like it depicts a little bit of the Freeman border with Ithril, Heimer, and it looks hand-drawn. It's not a professionally done map. There isn't even a scale on it to say, like, this distance from this distance, except for a very small penciled-in section. But you do see High Meadow on it. You see a couple of the other cities around that area. But there's an X marking a spot just south of the border, very close to the west coast. And Henry looks and he goes, I think that's where we need to go. I mean, everything else on the map...
though, is it?
I mean, it's probably not the best map, but if it's the best lead we have, then it's probably the best lead we have. Unless you want me to reach out and ask someone else for help. But as I said, they might complicate things.
I think we just go.
I think it's more only lead over best lead, but... And I'll just shrug and go back to the driver's seat and start flipping things on. Are we ready to go now?
How long will it take us to get there?
That's
Well,
Can I
without a
guess how long?
scale,
Say
Can I
that
try
again?
to guess? Can I try to guess how long it would take us to get?
Sure, you can make a survival or history check. Up to you.
Okay. Let's go with survival.
Survival.
$18.
18. The coast isn't too far. It mostly depends on like what ground shaker you're in. With the one that you're in, it'll probably take about 2 days, 3 days if you get stuck on a dune or two.
Okay. I'll tell him 4 days.
4 days. Well, I guess then we better get a move on. Do you guys have supplies for this?
I should be fine. I have
So,
20 sets of clothing. I have quite a few changes of clothing, and I have enough food to last myself for a while.
I have my tools.
And that's all you need. Good. And that one doesn't really eat, and he gestures towards Chick. So
I
we
require infusions of bio oil now and again, but I just topped up before we left.
Well then, if that's fantastic. Then we can get the show on the road, so to speak. Then
What show?
don't
Just
worry about him.
drive.
He starts like trying to flip himself back in again. He's watched you now flip him in, so he actually gets it. Relatively.
Even with his
quickly.
big fuzzy rabbit paws.
Yeah, it only takes like 2 minutes to do up his seatbelt.
He's gonna take 10.
So, with that, you guys head off, I assume, yes?
Mhm.
Yep.
Okay. Anything you want to declare while you're driving this thing? Are you looking for anything in particular? Are you planning rest stops here? What's the approach as you're
What
kind
is
of navigating
what is
through this
rest
leg of the
stop,
journey?
so?
No, you're just like, fuck it, we going?
You're kidding. You need to rest. I know you do.
I'm like, yeet yeet. We're going.
Yeet yeet, Papa feet.
Pop
going-
feed.
I'm trying to take the shortest route as the bird flies.
Through the rock? Just drive into the mountain. Secret tunnel.
We're going over everything.
Since you're driving, how about you roll me let's say a survival check, unless you're proficient with land vehicles, then you can roll that.
I am proficient with land vehicles.
Alright, let's get that going then. And can I get a d20? You roll the 10, Justin, and you roll the single there,
What
James.
should I add to it?
You're the one proficient, so you'd add your proficiency bonus to a d20.
No skill check questions?
Roll that D10, Justin.
Ooh, nat 20
Now,
plus 3
okay.
for proficiency.
4.
64.
64. Alright. So, is doing the best they could. You know, a memory reboot really helped to flesh out the finer details, and they're using controls that they never even looked at before, kind of remembering the general purpose of this. And it's the smoothest it's been. Before, you guys would go down the sand dunes and the machine would tilt slightly and they would have to speed up, but now they're actually like getting it to balance on the way down, and it's like just super smooth up and down these sand dunes. Not a problem. It's like a dream. They also seem to realize that it can't go over rocks, and as much as they want to go in a straight line, they do skirt around here and there as they need to.
Pussy.
But partway through, can I have this written. Don't you worry.
Mm-hmm.
And Sealiday.
Yep.
You notice, however, that even with such a smooth ride, there seems to be something in the sand following you guys. It's just this little plume once in a while comes up over the horizon, and it is slowly gaining on you.
Is it
Can I
kind of
roll
like a whale breaching? Like it's like a little puff?
Can I roll a knowledge check to see if I know what type of thing might be following us?
Yeah, you can roll nature or survival. Same with you,
Do I
Sealiday.
have advantage because I'm familiar with this sort of stuff?
That's the only reason you're getting the roll here, baby.
You chose the two skills that I don't have anything in.
That is
Oh.
a 14. No, that is a 13.
A 13.
I got a 6. 4 plus 2.
A 6. Alright,
Wow.
you think it might be the start of a dust storm. It's just very low to the ground, and you're like, well, that's kind of cute. You, however, you realize that it's probably something burrowing through the ground. It could be quite a few things. It could be an ant egg, it could be a bullet, it could be a worm, it could be quite a few things. You need to get a closer look to kind of like gauge the size better,
Okay.
if you'd
Okay.
like.
I'm going to slow the ride a little bit. And I'm going to call it to Fizzlewitz, because I'm assuming he's probably the one seated closest to me. Something is following us. I have 3 silvers on Land Shark.
And that just totally broke my concentration on the on the identification that I was doing. Wait, what? What? Something? What?
There is something following us.
Are you sure?
3 silver down on a bet that it is a land shark.
It could be the start of a dust storm. You know they're
I'll
quite
take a
prevalent
look.
in these parts.
If
But-
that is a dust storm, then you are my grandmother.
I don't know if that would work.
You did just
Really
finish with your second wand, and it is a wand of Circle of Truth. It has one charge that recharges once a day.
Wand of Circle Jerk. Love it.
Wand of Circle Truth. That's when you're the most honest. When you like make that eye-to-eye connection, and you're like, okay, I
Who's
can't lie
got
to
a
this guy.
cracker?
So you
Yeah,
currently have
bond
that wand in your hand as they break your concentration and start arguing. Maybe it's a land chug. I'm betting silver on it, and maybe it's a dust storm.
I take a look at that and try to see if I can make a guess as to what the hell that is following.
Are you chained in survival or nature?
No, I am not.
All right, can you roll with disadvantage, and we'll just make it a general intelligence check?
That would be a 7.
Seal a day might be onto something, but then again, so could the desert's a weird place. Sand gets everywhere. If anything, it's
coarse
a
and
miracle they
pretty.
even noticed it.
You know what? I think it's just a sand whale. It's probably just blowing and it needs to breathe, you know. No big deal.
It has been following us. How long has it been following us, Volcano?
Probably about 5 minutes now.
That
It
thing
might
has
think it's a.
behind us for 5 minutes. That
If it
means
is a whale, it might think we're its mother.
I'm
Maybe
sorry,
he-
but the thing in the
Henry
started-
speaks up at this point. He goes, do you know how to speak whale? You're a bard. Do you know any whale sounds? Maybe you could
I
communicate
know just the
with it.
thing. And I'll pull out my flute, and then I'll just start playing hot cross buns.
Can
How
you
the
roll?
fuck does go, James? Well,
Performance. I do have expertise in performance.
just
that
hum
brings-
the tune to us, huh? What is
Yeah,
the
come
tune?
Whistle up.
I can't whistle.
That's why I said hum.
What did you get?
With my expertise, that brings it up to a 9.
A 9? Yeah,
A
you
one?
go ahead. How does it go?
no.
This should be about accurate.
Very accurate.
Sirlade will blush. He'll cast. He want. Can I sleight of hand to cast minor illusion?
You could try.
And a nat 20 for the fucking sleight of hand, but not the performance.
So I'll say you go to blow into it, and like there's a little bit of like sand in the reed, and it sounds off, and that's why you're doing this. It's
Yep,
just like
so
this little
I'll,
puff when you blow in.
I'll minor illusion guitar tuning pegs around the recorder, and I'll just start fidgeting with them. Sorry, it's out of tune.
Henry's just like, that is such an odd flute.
Anyways, I don't feel up to playing anymore.
So since
I'll
you have slowing down, as you said you would, this thing has moved up quite a bit. It's only about 500 feet now back from you.
So, should I attempt to lose this thing? Shall we fight it? Shall I attempt to outrun it? I need to know now.
I say we just keep moving.
Yeah, keep
There's no
going.
point in dirtying my outfit.
So, to me, that sounds like outrun it. So I'm gonna fucking open up.
Okay.
Open up the pit.
Can I get a we'll get another land vehicle proficiency check here then. See how much speed you can get out of this thing.
Ooh, 19 plus 3. 22.
22. Alright. It's almost as good as it was, but now you're kind of like looking back in what works for a rear view mirror here. It's not the best thing, but you know, you're kind of like constantly looking back and checking the distance, and you've slowed it down a little bit, and you're being a little bit more reckless to get a little bit more speed out of this thing, but it is still gaining probably maybe like 10 feet every like hour or so. You know, you guys are very, very close in speed. But
After an hour of being chased, well, it's still gaining ground. I'm going to call to them. So, That thing is still after us. It has been over an hour. I think he wants your giblets.
Very quickly, I just have to let Fizzle know this, so then we can end it here. The other ones that you found, those other wands, yes? One is a wand of fireball. It has 3 uses, and it recharges 1 use once a day. There's a wand of dimension door. 1 use again.
Half sec.
Literacy is hard.
Yeah, sorry.
Per day. And mention door. Okay.
Yeah, 1 use again once a day.
Once per day. Alright,
And
got it.
the last one is a wand for circle of protection. And this one is twice a day. But it recharges once a week.
That was once a day.
That's potent.
Yep. Oh, it's just kind of an old wand.
Do wands get more potent as they get older? Is that what you're telling us?
Yes.
I think they just take longer to work, regardless of if you blow on them or not.
It's true that if you do not use it, you lose it.
I'm definitely tossing Cyril a day the wand of goo. Here, I think you'd enjoy this one.
What does it do?
It's gooey. It sticks things together.
I'll just. No, thank you. I'm not gonna
I
dirty
could use
myself.
that. It might be helpful.
Oh, sure, take it.
And how many charges does that one have, and how often does it reset?
I did not get the charges or reset on it.
You didn't?
No, I wrote down the
Recharges.
difficulty of the strength
D3
difficulty.
Alright,
every morning.
so this one has 3 charges. And it gives 1d4 on a long rest. It's a bit more traditional, you'll know.
Okay.
I kind of wanted to see that. Oh, well.
What happened?
Oh,
Nothing.
Andre's just dancing in the
Andre's
back,
just being a turd.
being a toad.
Oh, Andre.
Alright, so...
Andre.
Sorry
What a
to
prank.
interrupt, but like I said, it's been an hour now, so... You would have finished your identify by now. On all of them, so... There you go, you have that, so... But anyway, sorry, you were just saying, it's been an hour, this thing is still slowly gaining on you, but it is kind of starting to lose interest, maybe?
I think it might be best if we prepare to deal with it.
Don't fight, please. Thank you. Dogs are loud.
Unless you would prefer I, toss your salads.
Sorry, what?
Referring to toss what?
Toss your salads. That is the term for when you are in a vehicle that moves much more quickly than you are able to handle.
Is that what they call it?
Yes, tossing the salad.
I've never had my salad tossed in a wagon. Is this a Freeman thing?
It was a thing.
Okay, well, you learn something every day.
I'm starting to think you're just making things up. That doesn't sound like a
No.
word.
It is not a word, it is the name of the town.
I don't believe you. Mark it on the map.
How?
You have hands, don't you?
How will I mark a moving city on a map?
Mark it on a map.
It is moving!
That's not how maps work.
Then move the map.
Once again, does anyone have any willow bark?
Does anybody have any duct tape? Just shh.
Willow bark? For what? Why?
It's a mild painkiller. Brew it up in some tea, and it's a mild painkiller.
We're gonna brew
Out of
tea in
character,
this
this
thing?
actually does work.
Oh.
I know. I've learned about this in the past. I love it.
Well, I think I'm fresh out. I might have left it in my other vest.
That's okay. I'll deal with it.
Left it in your other hat.
Yes, with the other rabbits.
Okay,
Oh.
well, I say we stop and throw Seal a dingus out.
That's not very nice of you. I've been nothing but kind to you.
I'm.
You shush.
Oh.
Didn't I guess kind is a way to explain whatever you guys were doing that one night?
What?
Dearlide is gonna blush a little and just go back to filing his nails.
Are you pulling the vehicle over, or are you like keeping it going? What's
I'm keeping it going for now because like nobody has given me a clear answer on whether or not I should stop.
Because we're not gonna throw me outside to the fucking dust storm.
demand sacrifice?
How far away is this thing?
It's now
Or at least the
fully
dust storm?
490 feet. It's gained 10 feet over the last hour.
We're
Maybe
just
we should keep going until we find a spot that's more advantageous to us.
okay. I'll start trying to
Just
find
look at
somewhere that
stuff.
looks like it might give us a advantage in combat.
Okay.
Yeah, like
Rock.
What
rock
what would
cover.
look like it would provide advantage for you? What's
A
Um,
cliff? A
rocks.
rock?
Something to like get at our backs.
Water.
We're in the desert.
well
He didn't specify if it was a good idea.
Just like
but it is an option.
Yeah.
like big though.
Great food and water.
Okay, so
8,000
you want to look
times.
for a big rock, alright.
A big rock, a cliff, a ridge.
Alright. It'll take a little bit of driving around to spot such a thing, but there might be some off in the distance in the way you're going. At the
Yeah.
very least, you're aware that heading towards the coast, it usually tends to get rockier after a little bit, and the coast itself is very cliff-esque in some places.
Okay, I'll turn towards the coast.
No, I mean, that's
Realistically-
the way you were going this whole time, basically. So.
If it's only gaining a little bit of space on us at a time, it's going to take like 49 hours for it to reach us, so we got time.
Yeah. Which reminds me, as you guys are going, after about another hour or so, it just kind of gives up. The little plume kind of like goes away after a little bit. It did its job. It chased you for as long as it cared to chase you, and then it's like,
We left its yard.
yeah, the angry dust storm had enough. Nature crazy, right?
Nice!
Alright, can I get another percentage check from the two of you? You'll roll one number, you'll roll the other.
Do you want to do 10s or 1s?
I'll do 10s this time.
Well, you
80.
did 10s last time.
Oh, I got an 8.
I got an 8.
88 it is, regardless of whichever way we turn or decide to look at this thing.
I want to be the 10.
Rose-colored or not, an 88 is still an 88. So, the sun is starting to get low at this point. You guys left a little after midday, and now you have been going for another 2 coming up onto 3 hours. It's starting to cool down a little bit. There's a nice little breeze. Are you guys stopping for the night, or are you planning to just drive on through the night here?
Probably stop. I'll look for something that my character would deem safe-ish.
As I said, it was getting a little rocky. If you were to keep going for probably another hour, you could find a nice, a place where the sand has mostly been blown off, and it's kind of like this rocky plateau.
Yes, that is what I would like to see.
Alright, so you'll pull it up there. Are you putting it on the rocks? Are you leaving it in the sand, or what's
On the rocks if I can get there.
I mean, with you and the way you've been piloting today, you can probably get it on there. It'll take a little finessing, you know, getting onto a dune and then like just kind of riding that momentum down.
Yeah.
Right, and it's this rocky outcrop that's kind of like halfway in a dune and halfway out. So there's like sand here, hits this rock. It's mostly been blown off to either side, and it's like almost a little cliff with like maybe a 10-foot drop on like the I know there's a word for it, but we'll just say the exposed side. Fair enough.
Yeah.
All right. Henry speaks up and goes, "Are we sleeping in this? Are we setting up tents out there? Does this thing stay warm? Do we need a fire? I've never camped in one of these."
Neither.
I'm not
have
sleeping
we.
out there. I'll curl up on this seat right here.
That doesn't hurt your back?
And you think the rocks outside wouldn't?
I mean, when you put it like that, I thought maybe you had a sleeping bag. I don't pretend to know what's in your bag.
The rocks would be better
Do you
than
want to see?
Not really, no.
And I'll just do one of these and just flash all the outfits I stole from the prince.
Was that lace?
It's a bonnet. What a man can't accessorize.
Okay, so what I'm hearing is most of us are sleeping inside this.
those.
So does it stay warm? Do we need a
No.
fire? No.
Well, look at it.
I mean, are we in a desert?
There aren't exactly walls.
I don't pretend to know what this thing can and can't do.
And yes, it is a desert. You will freeze.
Isn't desert... That's
And
not how
metal.
deserts work. Deserts are hot.
In the day,
Yes, in the day they
Well,
are.
why would it not be hot during the night? It's still the desert.
You
Because
with
it's
small woods or big woods?
Small. You small. Remember who you're talking to.
Okay. Well, you see, I'm gonna step out down the ramp, and I'm gonna pick up a handful of sand and run through my joints. See this? This is sand. Sand gets warm
Congratulations.
quickly, but then it gets cold quickly too.
But why? We're in the desert.
The
Let's
sun
just let me
is
find out.
hot. So when the sun goes, things don't stay hot.
Now you're making sense.
are they?
So if you want to stay hot,
Okay.
you need to make a mini sun. We call that a fire.
Now you're just making fun of me.
Oh, I'm trying to teach you.
My mother
yeah.
couldn't teach me. You think you can?
I am smarter than your mother, I'm sure. I
Next
say
you'll say,
with an 8
You're more
intellect.
pretty than I am.
Okay, I mean, I'm glad we managed to reach this base of understanding. Are we making a fire out there? Does anyone have a way to stay warm in here? I mean, I really feel like we're starting to just dance around the problem at hand.
Ooh, do
problem
we
at
even
hand
have any
organic.
fuel for a fire?
I
There's
can
not
always make
exactly-
some.
If you're talking about lighting one of those farts up, please don't.
Oh, of course not. That's disgusting.
You have
My robe is
fire.
not just for beauty. I come prepared with many things.
Like what?
Like this, for example. And I'll rip off a patch and I'll throw it on the ground, and I'll spawn a bullseye lantern with a full oil tincture. Take the oil.
That's
Not a lot.
Okay, well, that'll
Okay.
get it
That'll rip it off
started.
and throw another one. Take the oil for that.
I think we need some more substantial fuel. I mean, seriously, this will definitely
Wood?
help us get it started, but 2 lanterns worth of fuel and nothing else. Do you have any wood?
Looks down. No.
No, not what I meant, but okay.
Well, cold night it is.
I mean, I do. I could get rid of my sled.
You have
I
a
could take
sled?
Why do you have a sled?
for when I want to go on a goat ride. Duh.
Why do I?
Does a fancy never come across you?
No, it doesn't.
Well, I'll tell you. They're wonderful.
How big is this sled?
Big enough for 4 people.
How big is the goat?
Well, that's...
There's 4 goats. They are very muscular.
So this comes with the goats?
Yes. Does every sled not come with goats?
I'm gonna start picking it as well, but where are you keeping them?
Under here, and I'll lift up my, I'll just like a nudist trench coat, just like, and it's just a single patch that's just goat.
A goat.
Now, does the patch say goat, or is it a picture of a goat?
It's just a really shittily, like, it's just a hand-stitched goat. Like, you took a 4th grader, taught them to do basic, like, sewing, and you're like, do a goat.
So you're saying that Day made this himself?
Okay. Are you pulling this off, or are you just showing it?
I mean, I have quite a few things on here. I have wooden poles. I have rope.
Wooden
set-
poles?
You'd have to break them down.
Well, we'd have to break them to sled too, wouldn't we?
I suppose, if you didn't want to set the goats on fire. so
About just one.
I'm assuming the door, like the door and the ramp are down since.
Yep,
Just
yeah,
walk outside.
they've poked it.
Fine. And I'll reach down and grab the patch, the 2 wooden rod patches that are by my balls, and I'll just throw them and spin them outside, and 20 feet of wooden pole is out there.
2 of them, or just 1 that's 20?
2 of them.
2 of them that are 20 feet?
2 of them are 10 feet.
Okay. Okay, well, I mean, that's definitely a start, and with the oil, I think getting it started should be easy.
I'm
Thank
gonna
you,
go
Seal a
down
Day.
and start hacking at logs.
Of course. I live to be useful.
Okay. So, you get down there, you set to work chopping these up with the other 2 are there.
Yeah.
What are you guys doing for watches during the night? Henry's actually going to ask
Close
this,
the door.
but it'll be cold in there. It'll be hot by the fire, unless...
Why don't we put the fire in here?
We're not putting a fire in there, and if you attempt to do so, I will clobber you.
I'll take first watch.
I suppose I'll take a watch.
Does anyone want a wand of dimension door or a circle of protection
I'll
wand?
take second watch.
Whatever that door one sounds fun.
There you go.
You have its stuff written down, or can you just quickly remind Seal a Day?
Once per day, dimension door.
Yeah, and it has 1 charge.
Alright. So you're doing first watch, they're doing second, and Seal a Day, you're doing last watch or third watch?
I'll take last watch.
Alright, and Henry's like, and I'm going to read my book.
Actually, I have dark vision, so I'll take the one, like in the middle of the night.
In the middle of the night watch. Final answer?
Final answer.
Alright, so you guys set to work with some level of coordination and telling Seal a Day firmly, but
Fuck
gently,
off.
No fires inside the ground shaker. And with awesome wood chopping prowess, you guys managed to get a rudimentary campfire set up rather quickly. Are you guys doing anything else during this long watch, or is it just to sleep, keep watch, get back on the road?
I'm going to again do some like routine maintenance, like oiling my joints, stuff like that. Taking like a fine brush and like carefully dusting out the exposed joints. Like I'm.
You're digging up dinosaurs.
Okay.
Yep. Played archaeologist on my joints.
I'd like to make a grenade or two.
Do you have the
What?
materials for that?
Yes.
Then in that
Nitro
case,
blister?
metal canisters and 50 pounds of black powder, which I have not used.
I'm sure you'll be able to get to that. Do you want to do it by the fire?
No.
Over the fire. Boom.
Okay, so you
Inside the fire. I'm going to stand right in the middle of it.
Through the fire and the flames.
so during your watch, you kind of like move away from the fire and you kind of like get busy doing this since you're post watch. Okay, and Sealiday,
Duh.
are you passing the night in any noteworthy way, or you just?
I'll just sit around the fire, humming to myself, trying to come up with new things for new rhythms for poems or songs. Just kind of keeping busy, maybe sort through the clothing I stole.
Okay.
Probably go through actually the princess's diary that we lifted from the room.
Alright, can I get an investigation check from you?
You're goddamn right.
And can I get a perception check from you, Justin?
I thought I was taking second watch.
Yeah, but he has
We're still
first
on
watch.
Yes, but then why are you asking James?
Because he's looking through a journal. he's trying to read. You don't think that's worth a roll?
Yeah, but shouldn't he be doing
for
that
me?
No.
Because wouldn't he be
Because
sleeping?
he's gonna go to bed soon. You know, for his watch, he'll roll that. You got a what? A 5?
Yep.
Okay. And what did you get, Sealiday?
I got a 16.
A 16? You read through this book, and it starts off the way you would expect it to go for a young lady. It's quite a well-used book. It seems like it's been with her for quite a few years of her life. You read the first few pages. They're not very well written. There's quite a few spelling mistakes. You skip through. The writing gets better. Feel like she matures a little bit. She learns how to spell the word perhaps. Big accomplishment. She's been using it a long time. Few too many P's, few too few P's once in a while, but eventually she gets it. You go to bit more, and the entries become sparser and sparser as you go. The writing kind of shifts slightly. The last few pages, the writing seems a little bit more harsher. It seems like she starts to write more in anger at this point, and it stops from being like about her best friends, about her crushes, more about how annoying her brother is, then more about how she wants to throw parties. But the last entry or two talks about like someone she's met, some guy that she likes to meet who's apparently Freeman, and she's been sneaking out of the castle to see him once in a while, and after that the entries just kind of stop. Justin, it's hard to see what's going on this far away from the fire, trying to make grenades in the dark. But
Yeah, I might be a little bit too much into my creation.
yeah, but no one dies, no one blows up. Yeah, it's pretty uneventful. You get a little colder, but that's about it. And soon enough, it's time to go wake up someone for a second watch. Who would you like to wake up? Sealaday's kind of like dozed off with his book, his eyes closed, kind of like in like his energy saving mode, maybe? Question mark.
Screensaver.
I'm meditating and conversing with the great machine mind.
It's disconcerting because you know like the sound of a hard drive booting up. That's what you hear every now and again.
I'll shake on her shoulder.
I'll just eyes open, suddenly staring at you, head cocked to the side a little bit. Yes.
Uh, I think it's your turn for watch. I really need to get some sleep.
Very good.
Thank you.
Nice.
I'll nod to you, stand up,
You
and
wa-
go start my watch.
Do you want my goggles of night?
Actually, yes.
There you go. Good night. Thank you again. And I'll curl up by the fire.
I shall return these.
Actually, I'm gonna try to curl up right beside Henry because I know he's fluffy and warm,
Very fluffy.
and he'll keep me warm during the night.
Roll a stealth check. Unless you're like gonna wake him up and be like, hey man.
No. This is not gonna go well.
Just gonna spoon with him.
Pretty much.
Little spoon or big
You
spoon?
tried to be the little spoon.
I want to be the big spoon. I want to be a jetpack.
Oh, that's actually not too bad. 15 plus 2, 17.
Yeah, I mean, you managed to get in there. I mean, he's very cute when he sleeps. He's like, he has his ears like flat down against him. He's kind of like puffed himself up more than usual, like against the wind. And you think you get a little too deep into his fur, and you're like, I want to wake him up, but there's no Henry there. It's just more fluff, and soon enough, you're just surrounded, encapsulated in this rabbit's fur. And it's quite wild.
I might pay for this later, but oh, it's worth it.
Can I get a perception check from you,
Okay. Is
I
this
imagine-
the little guy crawling into the rabbit hole?
Let's see what you roll.
Oh, buddy, that's not good. That is a 10.
10? No, I mean, partway through the night, you're kind of like, alright, I see nothing, scanning, nothing. Let's do our head count, and Fizzle is gone. You have no idea where he is. He's vanished from the campsite.
I'm gonna look around for tracks.
For tracks? Okay.
See if we can figure out which way Fizzlewitz went.
Alright, let's get a survival check.
Ooh, that is much better. That is a 17.
17. You find the tracks, they're a little difficult to see at first, but with the help of the night goggles and just kind of like getting down, you manage to find some sort of tracks on this rock. You think it's some sort of powder that's maybe gotten on his boots that he's been walking out with, and you kind of follow that, and it leads over to the rabbit.
Oh. I'm gonna get back to watching.
He's the rabbit.
They're the same person.
Also, I like to imagine when wakes up, it's just dial-up internet sounds.
Dial up. Alright.
Now, I want to do something to wake up Seal a Day for his watch.
And what's that?
Okay. Well, you see, first,
Running kick
I've got
into the
the wand of
testicles.
help.
Okay, so what are you gonna do?
I'm going to goop on his hand.
What are you gooping it to?
Oh, this is where the fun part
To the
gets in.
fire.
That just sounds so. I goop on his hand. The activation word is
know
I'm
him.
gooping. You need
With
to
a big feather, okay, so I've got the big feather. He's there, he's sleeping.
Oh, you're gonna make him slap himself with it?
He's laying in that direction. I stand behind him and I start like tickling his nose.
Okay. Thank you,
And
Kaya.
the minute he wakes up, I turn around, sit down, and power off.
Okay.
trying to make it seem like I was out there this whole time.
Seal a day. I'll roll a sleight of hand check for me, actually. Chick.
Ooh, ooh. I need to see that. Kaya, I need to see.
That
Proving
poor
once
dog.
again, magic items are not meant to be used the way they're supposed to be.
What'd you get?
18.
18. Seal a day. You wake up suddenly to like something on your nose. It's itching. You want to sneeze. What do you do?
I slap it.
Okay. With which hand?
I'm right hand dominant.
Tell
So
you what, roll a
Yeah.
roll a
Roll.
d20 to see what hand you put it on, since you didn't specify.
Which one would be his dominant hand? Is it lucky?
Well, let's see.
how do you know what my dominant hand is?
3.
3.
Were you paying attention?
Oddly enough, I was doing 10 and lower is right hand. So I need
You made
you.
him
Can you make a strength saving throw for me, Sealiday?
No, I cannot.
like...
Oh, right. That's an 18 on the die minus 1, so 17.
Roll a percentile die for me.
Yahtzee. 57.
57. All right. You slap your face, and the first thing you realize is you can't breathe, and you panic, and you pull your hand away with a lot of force, and it comes off, and you look down and you see one eyebrow go in the middle of this goo, and you've waxed off one of your eyebrows, taking your hand away, but you can breathe again. And you look up
I'm
at
just gonna-
Chick. You see Sealiday sans his right eyebrow.
It's your watch now, and I'm gonna, like, power off.
You did not do that.
Could have been worse. Could have been a Brazilian.
I can't believe it.
Next week.
I'm just gonna sit there staring at my hand dumbfounded. Just this dumb bitch. So I'm gonna go into the ground shaker, and I'm just gonna start like trying to wipe it on Chick's seat and just smear it as much as I can, get it off myself.
Can you roll a perception check with disadvantage as you're making your way up? No? You're a man on a mission, hey?
I rolled a 5 and a 1, but I have plus 9.
I mean,
No,
like,
plus 8.
you
So it's-
kind
it
of
is-
like... So what was it with disadvantage? You have plus 8, so you're at 9?
Yeah.
Alright, like, you almost stub your toe, but you remember the ramp, and like, you make your way up there, and you just start trying to smear this thing off. It's hardened a little bit, you get a little bit off, it's kind of gross. And as you're doing this, it like starts to dissolve and crumble, and you're spreading like this green, goopy powder on pretty much everything. And there's like little pieces of hair in it, and it's not sticking the way you want, but it's a mess.
I'm gonna go back out, and I'm going to basically treat it like a marshmallow. Like I'm gonna hold it like high over the fire and hope the heat helps it to like break down and drip off.
Yeah, I mean, eventually it does come off your hand. It's a little hot, and you have to like take your hand away once in a while. But yeah, you manage to clean your hand off once in a while. Sorry, once in a while. After a while.
From being around, do I know that? Do I know if they're a light sleeper, or is it like power on, power off?
Roll insight with advantage. You've seen them sleep once or twice now.
I will take a 19 over an 8, and then I have insight is a plus 6, so I have a 25.
They're pretty aware of what's going on. Like you think you might get away with it if you like did super well. But as a general rule, like they are still a pretty light sleeper. They're pretty aware of what's going on. But they did manage to pull something over in on you, so maybe it's worth the risk.
I'm going to rip off my patch.
Which
I'm
one?
going to place it between their legs, and I'm going to release the magic.
Which patch are you ripping off?
I will tell you. I don't. If they wake up, I will tell you. Otherwise, I want to wait till morning.
Alright, roll a sleight of hand check.
16, and then expertise. So that's a 26.
26. You don't seem to disturb them, and you press it in there well enough that like the magic hasn't released yet.
Okay.
And the trigger for it to go off is them waking up or moving their leg.
Yep.
Okay. I mean, luckily, them being a wolfwoods, they don't toss and turn a lot. So it should stay there pretty okay.
Then after that, I'm just going to kind of meander around the camp, and I'm going to spend time drawing on my eyebrows with my mirror.
Okay.
Try and make it look as realistic as possible.
Roll a sleight of hand check. Unless you're
18.
proficient with a disguise kit, are you?
Yes.
Alright, then in that case you'll just do it. You know, you've done eyebrows before.
You're goddamn right I have.
Alright.
Yeah, so I'll just kind of kill the rest of my time, and then wake up Henry, I believe it's Henry's turn.
Henry's not taking a watch. So who wants to wake up first? It's between
I'll-
you two.
Let's say I'll roll a d20.
I only need
1
6
to 10,
hours
it's
of
me.
rest, so I guess I'd probably wake up first.
You need how much of rest?
6 hours of rest. I am completely aware of everything that goes on though, because I just enter a sentry's vest.
Yeah, but the thing is he beat your passive perception. That's what I was basing it off of.
Well, I rolled a 17, so still check first.
Alright, you wake up. What happens?
You hear a giant detonation sound, it's like a cannon releasing air to wake everyone up, and then you're sitting in the middle of a giant pair of poop-streaked underwear. Like, I'm talking hill giant-sized fucking chocolate-stained underwear.
Henry actually wakes up.
Okay, so you know how when men are in a gym bathroom in high school, and they'll whip each other with their towels?
You can try. The fucking underwear is bigger than you are.
Exactly. I'm using particularly
Like,
the poopy,
wrangle sheets.
like cup area. I'm like trying to whip him with it,
You're wrangling them like
and
sheets.
asking him if he wants to dance.
Are you proficient with whips?
Yes, I am. That is my main weapon.
Alright, you can roll an attack.
Can they? Like, the underwear is bigger than they are. You
Yeah,
can't exactly...
I mean, they're gonna have to roll it up. They're probably gonna get poop on their hands doing this.
I'm rolling it up and whipping you like a towel
But
in
this
a
is
gym.
this is for vengeance. They're taking it in stride. They're like, fuck it.
They did it to
20.
me first and removed my eyebrow. And they're getting
You
it.
removed the eyebrow yourself.
Yeah, you wax that on your own. Alright,
At
what
the
did you get
boom.
for your attack?
At the
Dirty
boom, I'm
20.
beeping up.
Dirty 20? Yeah, I mean, it doesn't do damage, but the poopy part does collide with your leg as you're trying to, like, get out of the way.
Wakey, wakey, hands off, Snakey!
He's like wide awake, staring at you, trying to like stay away. Henry also, he jumped away so fast. He's like halfway up the ramp. He didn't even notice that you were cuddling with him last night. He just
My
fucking.
weapon's out. I'm like,
He
then I
just
see,
bolted.
see them, and I'm like, what the
yeah,
going on?
yeah, so you wake up, right? You can see Seal. You can see Seal today. He's like trying to dance away. You see Chick here wrapping up their underwear and chasing them with this giant poop streak sheet. The fire has gone down to embers at this point. But that's
You would think that I wouldn't be surprised, but where were you even? Why? You know what? Never mind. I don't need to know.
I mean, the goats are one thing, but What do you possibly need that for?
Exactly.
I have
Hobbies?
many outs.
No.
In case of trouble.
Do not finish that sentence. Do not finish it. Do not
These are
need to know.
These are how I get out of trouble.
Well, today they're getting you into trouble, and I'm gonna try and smack you in the face.
Alright, quickly, roll a perception for me, Sheila Day, because you have the highest passive.
What's your passive?
18.
Damn.
I rolled a 16 plus 8, so that is 24.
24.
Disgusting.
You don't know how you didn't notice this last night, but most of the joints on the flopper are like just packed with sand, and there's like some weird other things. It looks like something came here last night and was fucking with your machine trying to disable it. No one seemed to notice until just now the sun's up and it's been sabotaged.
Hold on a minute.
At
Hold on a
this
minute.
point, the underwear smacks you in the face. Kind of wipes off your eyebrow with it, and then there's just a little poop streak where your eyebrow was.
I start retching.
Do you want a
Like-
con save, or are you full on just puking here?
I'll retch a couple times and then I'll vomit.
Okay, so you just...
And it's just like out, like I don't bend over, it just kind of like dribbles out of my mouth all over my clothes.
I'm gonna watch you do this. I'm gonna hold out the poop streaked underwear. You want to clean your face off?
I'm just gonna get naked. Just staring you dead in the eyes.
Henry goes inside. He's had enough of this scene. He just disappears into the ground shaker.
Come, help me clean this off, Vizilwitz. And I'm gonna toss the underwear at Seola Dingus.
I'm just kind of like grinding my teeth into dust. And I was like, what I was going to say? Someone fucked with the ground shaker when we were sleeping.
Wait, what?
At this
I
point,
will fix
Look
it.
at the joints.
yeah, at this point, you guys look and you see the same thing. The ground shaker.
I'm just kind of like angrily saying it.
Don't worry, I can fix it.
Sure you can.
Well, yeah, it's gonna. I mean, still,
You know,
it's gonna cost
you know
us
the
time.
outfit from Django? Like when he first becomes his own person, he wears
The
that, like,
blue outfit.
the blue one with the... Yeah, that's what that's the prince's outfit I chose to wear.
Fucking love that outfit too.
Camouflage.
You're going up to take a look at this thing to see if you can fix it?
Yep.
Alright. Roll a survival check for me.
Ooh, 19 plus 3. 21 again.
You've been in the desert. You've seen these things firsthand. You get about 15 feet from it and you stop. And you realize, like, that isn't random shit. Like, that's a paper nest wasp nest that's been, like, put into the joints. And you can currently see one or two drones just kind of, like, buzzing in and out of this thing. And you recognize it as the same wasps that, the jackal guy was using in your encounter. Very,
Well-
very large wasps. You know what I'm saying?
We will need more wood. Oh, better yet, actually, I'm gonna go over and I'm gonna pick up one of the leftover pieces of pole, yeah?
If you
Yeah, there's-
didn't use them all.
Probably a few pieces still unburnt. You know, no one really tended the fire, so it just kind of like burned the way you guys left it.
So I'm going to grab one of these pieces and I'm going to wrap the poopy underwear on it, drip some of
Fantastic.
the oil on it. I'm gonna close my breathing apparatus.
I'm getting
Stand
the
back
fuck out
and
of there.
clean these.
Now,
Light it on fire.
are you guys standing by
Left
them?
I am.
Have
No,
any of
I'm,
you ever?
I'm way the fuck out.
I'm not sure if you guys ever lit a toad on fire, but it's...
Have you?
Started doing that. I'm backing up.
Alright,
That's unhygienic.
so you light this on fire. Everyone's
I would start smoking the wasps out and then taking apart their hive.
okay. There's several hives.
Doing this one at a time.
Alright, so you start smoking out the first one.
Yeah.
You realize you're going to need more than one of these, because
Yeah,
as soon
that's okay. He took off all of his clothes.
you're taking all of Sealaday's clothes, lighting
He's
them on
not
fire, and
I don't think he wants it back.
okay, so let me get
I
this
have
straight.
plenty of
You're
clothing.
lighting up a bunch of piles of clothes underneath these wasp nests just to get smoke, or are you trying to light the nests on fire?
I'm trying to smoke it, so that
Fine.
way I can get the wasps' nests.
Okay,
Because
this
smoking wasps is exactly like smoking bees.
Well,
It makes them real lethargic and lazy.
I get that, but you're still going to probably get stung doing this, because there's quite a few here. You know, it's a there's quite a few in one area.
Concentrated.
I gave up on
Consecrate.
that word. I jumped ship. We're done. I don't need
Moving
that
on.
word.
It's okay. I'm probably gonna get stung a lot less. Plus, I'm armor.
Okay, so you're gonna accept this, all right? So
Yeah.
what are you two doing as?
I'm also going to cast Shield of Faith on myself.
Alright, you also seal the day with your perception. You can hear the sound of Henry inside retching because he's close to this smell. Oh, trust me, I'm aware. They don't know that yet. I'm aware. They're about to find out. Just you wait. So I just need to know what you two are doing here.
Who's aware of what?
I'm
It's a chat
backing-
member. He's pointing something out.
I'm backing the fuck away from the whole scene.
Alright, so you're getting out of
Like
here.
I'm just like, no thanks. That's near the poop streak.
And
I'm gonna
Fizzle?
put I'm gonna put one hand on my shield and the other one on my arcane weapon and just take a close look around.
Okay.
Because
So,
I know those things shouldn't be here, and now I think we might have company.
okay. So, they don't really get lethargic upon the smoke. What they start to do is they start to exit the nest as quickly as they can. And you kind of have like this little swarm now sticking around this. Like, how close are you sticking to this?
What do you mean?
Well, they're leaving. They're starting to swarm now outside of their nest. How close are you getting to this?
I said I was gonna take it off with my hand, so I guess that close.
Alright, so they, before when you did this, they all went up. They didn't have a nest. In this case, smoke tends to make wasps leave, as you find out, but they still don't exactly just vacate the area or lay down and die in it, you know what I'm saying? So there's a mini swarm forming around you as you start digging at this. They're going to start trying to sting you, but you have a decently high AC, I believe. And you said
Also
you're
cast Shield
casting,
of Faith.
219.
yeah, with Shield of Faith.
Out of curiosity, what time of day is it?
At this point,
Morning.
it's quite early in the day. You guys probably got started before the sun was fully up. Being as you're in a desert, you probably don't want to be starting the day, So we'll say it's about 5 a.m.
Oh,
Yeah, right? Good time, great time. So you're actually doing really well. You only really get stung once or twice, and you're going to take 3 points of piercing damage from several of these things. Can I also get a con saving throw from you? Unless you have a poison immunity.
I do. I'm warforged.
Alright, in that
You're
case,
also bio.
Yeah.
So would it be like a 10% chance to get poisoned? Because if the healing potion worked, it only makes sense that the poison would work.
well, we'll give you resistance to this then. So can I get we'll say a saving throw from you nonetheless.
That is 13, 14, 16.
16. Yeah, it's enough that, between this warforgedness of you and, just the way that your body is different, you're built different. Doesn't really seem to affect you. Instead, you just kind of get stung once or twice. They're swarming around you. Everyone's, moved away. And you go up and you just start crumpling this thing off with your hands. Just full-on honey badger on this thing. And you get through one, you move to the next, and you get through that as well, and these things are sticking with you. They are determined to try to get you to stop as you go from one to the next to the next. We're going to say you only really need to do it on both joints. You get stung a few more times at the next nest as well. This time you're going to take 4 points of piercing damage. These things are still stinging you, but you got the nests off. What's your plan now? There's probably about
They're still angry.
100 or so of these bright green wasps following you, stinging you, landing on you. Like, it's almost hard to see at this point.
Myrtle.
Boy, you're just gonna start.
Start smacking some wasps. How big are they?
They're about 1 to 3 inches.
The size of this Coke can.
The size of this Coke can. They
Not making
eat
it
the
home for
Japanese hornets for breakfast. They're big enough that 20 of them could carry a full-grown man away. Can you make a straight up kidding?
I believe I can fly.
Are you guys doing anything to help? You're watching, like,
I'm just sitting back.
they start, like, it looks like they're panicking, right? They're like striking out as many directions as they can. You can make a full round attack if you want, unless you want to tell me how you want to attack.
Well, you see, I have this beautiful thing called Flurry of Blows.
So okay,
They
but
just
it's-
they just windmill. They stand like this and spin around.
you lock your knees, you deactivate your waist lock, and you just go like a top. Is that?
I just start whipping a shitty, standing there.
I'm here to watch the Warforged just spin themselves up like a like a Doom
Let's
top.
Beyblade. Let's fucking Beyblade.
Okay.
I'm still looking around. You need any
I'm
help
just
over
watching
there?
the show.
I'm gonna make a full round attack to begin with.
Okay.
2 nat 20s.
No way.
Come here.
Can
My hands
you
are
just
here.
turn the camera down? Let me just.
I'm
Jeez.
making sure.
Okay. Dude. Alright, I mean, if the dice gods will it, who am I to stand between you and fate? Oddly enough, so like I said, they kind of like, they lock themselves, they do whatever the Warforged gotta do to be able to spin 360 degrees. And it's fucking working. You've never seen something like this, as they just spin up and there's just, it goes from this cloud of bugs to just this terrible grinding sound, and suddenly there's just bug guts everywhere. Have you guys ever like hit like
Yes.
you're like going down the freeway and you go through the swarm? They stop spinning. You can't even recognize what color they are. They're shades of yellow, they're shades of green. They're just so viscous. The sun is coming up, it's hitting them, and it's almost blinding, the glare that's coming off of them from all of this liquid. It's rather grotesque.
You need to clean that off before it gums up your joints.
Yes. I'm gonna grab a handful of sand and start scrubbing myself off.
They enacted
It's
bug
a
kill
little
mode.
difficult. Your joints definitely don't work like they used to before. You might need a hand.
The sand, clean it off,
You're
clean off the most of it,
Rip off
dry
this
it out,
arm.
get in the-
You're going to need more than a little brush. You're gonna need more than a little brush to get this up.
I'm hoping Fizzlewit will help me with maintenance, right?
Yeah.
Can I get a con saving throw from you? Because it still smells like just burnt poop the closer you get to this.
Burnt poop,
God.
bug guts, and shame.
Okay.
Whatever you, like, if there was a damage deposit on this thing, you guys are not getting it back. Like, you drove this
Not
off the
bad.
lot. The fucking resale value's through the floor.
16 for a total of 18.
18? Yeah, I mean, maybe you've had kids before in the past. Oddly enough, you're like, nah, I got this.
You know how to get the shit out of the weird place.
Breathe
Kinda
through your
tastes
nose.
the back of my throat, but I just swallow it down.
Swallow it down. Alright.
Oh,
So with that, it will take a bit of time as you two work towards cleaning. Celia, you're the only one here that hasn't offered a hand. What are you doing with all your free time? Are you just
I'm
enjoying the
just
show?
lounging. Yeah, I'm just kind of like lounging in the sand, just admiring the show.
Are you gonna redraw your eyebrow on, or have you
Yes.
accepted that that's gone?
No, as soon as I changed my outfit, I went to redraw my eyebrow.
Did you draw it on in blue to match your outfit?
Yes,
Okay.
sapphire blue.
So you're there in your Django Unchained blue outfit, blue eyebrow on the right side, watching this happen. But after a little bit of, some time here, your joints have swollen a little bit on the elbow where you have gotten these stings just from, like, there's only so many places to sting you, so they kind of pile up in one or two spots. It's a little uncomfortable, but you'll survive. And with that, you could probably continue this leg of the journey now that it's been properly seen to, these nests.
Okay, let's get going.
Right. You see Henry's there, and he's like, he's found the only bucket available. And the bucket is in a metal cage. And you watch as he's been puking into your mimic. Doesn't seem to mind, it's eating it, it's fine. But he's like, this is the weirdest garbage can I have ever held.
It's self-emptying.
Oh,
Never mind.
What's with the cage, by the way? I mean, I appreciate the handholds it offers, but it's a little odd of a design.
We have.
That is our pet mimic.
He just like he puts it down and like he pushes off to the side. It's like, you guys saw nothing. This never happened. I'm sorry.
you do not need to empty the bucket.
Good to know. I didn't look outside.
Damn it, you fed it. Now it's gonna get bigger. We're gonna have to redo the cage again.
Good thing you can make things.
Yeah.
With that,
Still.
like,
It's gonna match his appetite.
Henry starts like buckling himself in as he's making eye contact with none of you. He's staring at his feet.
I'm gonna help him make sure this gets done faster.
Okay. It only takes 1 minute with your help after you slap his hands away. His big bunny
And then I
paws aren't the
go
best for this.
around to the rest of the group, and it's kind of like the bored teenager at a amusement park checking the belt on the roller coaster. Tug that, make sure. Tighten that, because he's got it too loose.
Alright.
Belt in the mimic into his corner again.
And with that,
Do you want to take the wheel, or should I?
I would prefer to make good time.
Then you take the wheel.
I want to cast sending on the rabbit.
on the rabbit. Okay, what do you want to say to Henry?
I can't believe you've done this.
He just kind of like locks eyes with you, and he speaks out. It's like, "What's the point of sending? We could talk. What did I do?
I'll cast sending again.
What happened to your eyebrow?"
Don't look at the eyebrow. Think about what you've done. And I'll just cut transmission.
Okay.
And I'll just flip my head and look away from him.
Okay. Can I get another vehicle check here from you?
No, you cannot.
Sounds like I can. I beg to differ.
No
That's
habla inglés.
11.
11?
The gears are grindy.
It's a little difficult. As I said, thanks to the bug bites, your arm is a little bit more stiff, right? And the first time you go over a dune, you're trying to steer with it to kind of like ride down with it, but you don't turn it fast enough, and it's a little bumpy as this thing kind of like loses traction for a second, and you kind of go into a very steep downward slide, just barely pulling up on the last second to like keep this thing going. You might have got some of the bug guts off that you splattered. Maybe you scraped the paint. Who's to say? But it's definitely a bumpier ride.
You forgot how to drive stick in the last 12 hours.
Fizzlewitz, you're up. I won't go.
So you guys almost crash, and they just like take their hands off the control.
Like you're about to crash and they're like, I'm done. Jesus, take the wheel.
Fizzle, take the wheel. Right. So you
No, take the wheel.
you get up to the seat. Do you have anything to sit on, by the way? Like, you're a gnome, though. Like, do you have a booster seat with you? Not to be rude. Like, I don't want to discriminate. But,
No,
like,
no,
what's
no.
the,
That's a legit question.
He was using the
I
mimic
don't
before.
think it's something I would really think about bringing with me.
So what's,
Sit
what
on,
do
My
you...
tools,
sit
yeah,
on one
but
of your grenades.
you
no, I'm not doing that.
someone's lap, perhaps? Maybe?
I've got my 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 backpack.
Your back? Alright, sweet. So you
Sit on top of your
put your
backpack.
backpack down in the seat and you climb on
I mean,
top and...
it's mostly metal anyway, so
Why not? It works. You know, it's the perfect height, actually. You can see over the dashboard now. Pedals, nah, you'll figure it out. And-
I'm
Nintendo
gonna
and
take
you-
the co-pilot seat and backseat drive.
Yeah, and you know, you've been practicing in your free time on Tick Tick, so you know, you can make it work, you know. So, can I get a vehicle check from you? And
I-
you should have the proficiency. If not, you can add it now.
okay. Is it what?
And roll with advantage
Eight.
because said they want to give you a hand here. Backseat
Okay.
driving. Usually it doesn't work in real life, but oddly enough,
No,
in
it
this, you can make disadvantage if you want, depending on how you feel. I won't say no.
Dex, intelligence, wisdom. What's the
It's
base
just the
attribute?
proficiency plus. So
Okay.
it's just a d20 with that.
Yeah, because I think you could probably make it work with intelligence because, like, an owner's manual.
Yeah,
16
if
plus
you want to make that
proficiency.
argument, I will accept intelligence plus
say
proficiency.
Dexterity, because like maneuvering your car. Reflexes.
I don't know how this works, but I'm really fast with the wheel.
Just Snoop Dogg.
You're so bad you
well,
almost
even with the-
crashed, but I didn't.
Even with this
don't know
proficiency,
what
it's still
road
19.
safety laws are.
Hold on. So what was that, Justin?
Even with only proficiency, it's still a 19.
19. Yeah, I mean, you do better than your counterpart here. They have a few points of advice for you, but in the back of your mind, you're like, I knew that. I don't need you.
Get the
And
fuck out of here.
It's a relatively smooth ride. The main thing you're asking them is like, is it this way? Because they know the desert a little bit better, right? So they kind of give you directions here and there. You know, stick to this side, stick to that side.
Can
When you
reach the
cross
pedal
this
for me?
dune, don't be looking at the sky. You'll blind yourself. Staring at the sun is bad. So with that, I need you two, and Sealaday. Can I get both of you to roll 1/2 of percentile? And let
No.
me know who's the 10 and who's the 1?
What do you want to be?
I want to be the littler number.
Okay, I will be the 10.
Unfortunately, you're not really a 10. That's a 9. And I hate it because it's an odd number.
Do you want the good news or the bad news?
Both
No.
at the same time?
It wasn't a 69. It was a 79. I failed you, Dad.
Wow.
You've
You
been
are
voted
good
off the island.
You are the weakest link.
Goodbye. Alright, so with that, everything seems to going pretty well. Can I get a perception check from my driver?
Ba-ba-bum. Ooh. 6. Let's see. 6 plus. Yeah, that would be 7.
7. I mean, don't fucking worry about it, man. You're focused on the rocks. As I said, you're getting closer to the coast. More rocks are coming out. There's more
Arm
more
hanging out the window.
outcroppings here and there. You know, it's less and less
Be nice
sand,
and far
more
away
and
from
more
that
rocks.
ice thing.
Yeah, so you're more focused on that, and like you have in your ear, like, oh, you can go over that one. That one's probably too deep. Go around it, and that's kind of what you're focused on. So with that, you know, you were able to make pretty good time, and actually, you guys you can see where the world kind of ends, where like this cliff takes over, and the horizon is slowly turning more and more blue as you see the ocean spreading out in front of you. Probably a couple of hours away, and this is when Henry speaks up. He goes, okay, now we probably need to find a landmark or something to help us find where this X is. We see the coast. It's supposed to be along the coast,
Look for this in the sand.
but I don't know how north or south we are. What do you mean footsteps?
The X in the sand. It's on the map. Why wouldn't it be on the sand?
What?
Well,
Fizzle,
why
can you
w-
explain this to him? I
I
know you're
like
driving,
reach back
but...
and try to smack him, but obviously my arm is just way too
you
short.
just see like a little hand waving at you.
I
Well,
take off
well,
my
well, hear me
arm,
out, hear me
I
out.
just go like
That's
unplug
how
it,
maps work.
hand it to Fizzle with to smack him with.
So you
That's
see
how-
Fizzle
that-
try to smack you, and then next he has a
chuck it.
robot arm, and it slaps you.
No, I chuck it.
You chuck it.
On the dull clunk of steel.
Make an attack roll.
Gong.
I'm not even gonna add to it. Oh shit! 18.
18.
The
Yeah,
worst part is
it hits you and it takes off your eyebrow for the second time today.
I'm just gonna like without fucking missing a beat. I'm gonna grab my fucking disguise kit. I'm gonna draw an angry eyebrow. Like you've seen
Yeah,
Trogdor,
you
right?
like- so
Burninator.
You throw this, right? And you look into the rear view mirror, right, to see if it hits. And target confirmed, it hits, right? And he watches, he draws on an angry eyebrow, and he makes eye contact with you, the mirror. And a second later, the other natural eyebrow follows as he scowls at you.
Just the mirror a little bit.
And look away.
Out of sight, out of mind.
Tilts it to the side, rips it
Oh.
off too.
I'm gonna cast sending on him as well.
Mark off your spell slot.
And I'm just gonna whisper, "You are this close to Philip spanking you."
Who is Philip?
Our. Wait, that's not our pet?
Nope.
I do get to reply.
Yep.
Does it? It doesn't have to be verbal, does it?
No, you have
It's
25
automatic.
words.
Mental reply. You're just jealous that I got to spoon with Henry.
Angry eyebrows.
Angry eyebrows intensify?
At this point, like, Henry's like, he's cast Mage Hand and he's collected the robot arm and he's like clutching against his chest. He's like, guys, really, we need to figure out where we're going.
Yeah, you know what? Yeah. He's right. He's right. Let's focus. Let's focus.
Like I was saying, if you look how maps work, they plot things that are supposed to be there. You find the map, you find the X on the map, it should be on the sand.
Yeah, double check the map again. Actually.
Alright, and he tries to like throw the arm and it falls short, so he like Mage Hands it back to himself, and then he looks around like he's an idiot, and instead he has the Mage Hand fly it back to you instead of throwing it a second time.
I'm
Strength-
just gonna go get it.
Strength 7.
No, it's given to you by this Mage Hand that's just kind of like it can't lift it, but it's like
kinda
dragging it across
dragging
the
it.
floor. So it's kind of a gross screeching sound. But now that his hands are free and he's able to focus, he pulls the map out of like his little vest pocket and he holds it out in front of him. His face completely disappears to you guys, and is like, "What am I
his
looking
ears.
for?" Except for
I
his
don't know.
ears.
Hold it up to the light. Put some
Um,
fire behind it. See if there's anything that we missed.
Tell you
look for
what,
X in
and
the
he'll
sand.
I'm kind of busy driving.
he's going to undo his buttons, and he gets down on all fours because like he's not very confident at walking, and he like crawls his way into the middle of the floor and spreads the map out where anyone can see, except for the driver, unless you want to take your eyes off the road or park. Up to you.
Rear view.
You do what you want. It's your rules. I can't stop you. Who here wants to try to decipher where you want to go here using
I'm,
this
I'm
map
gonna,
and
I'm gonna
landmarks?
get involved.
Alright, can I get a survival check from you?
Probably wouldn't be the best to help.
Don't sell yourself short. You're
Yeah, you never
you're the
know.
goat, man.
I mean, I have an intelligence of 11, but it's just like, this is like how Day thinks.
How's it?
22.
22. I mean, you're definitely not looking for the X on the map because you know that won't exist. So instead, you kind of focus on like the little details in here. You can see that it's supposed to be on a cliff face, and you notice now on this hand-drawn map that the mountains have been drawn 2 different ways, probably to show a cliff versus the inverse of a cliff, which would be the mountain. You know what I'm saying? Same page. And you
Yeah.
understand you're probably looking for something set into the mountain. With that being said, if you were to angle a bit more to the north, you would probably be in the right range here. Then again, it was supposed to be south of the border, so maybe going south a couple of hours would do better. It's kind of this 50-50 of what's, if you think this guy fucked up, putting it on this side of the border, or if it's on the other.
Okay, I'm
What-
gonna tell him to head north, and then we'll head north a couple of hours, and then turn around, and we'll start searching from up there.
in exactly that tone of voice, so how do you want to word that?
Pretty much like that. Like,
Robot.
okay,
Alright,
head north a couple of hours. Then we'll turn around and start searching.
Okay.
alright, you do that. In exactly that tone of voice. And you guys, it's not a hairpin tone, you know, because you still have to head there, but it's a nice sloping curve, kind of still meandering your way through these rocky outlets. And about the time that the sun's really starting to peak high into the sky and the sun's starting to pick up, you guys manage to get into the shade of these mountains. And it's actually a nice relief. You know, you're in this big metal craft. It's not the most comfortable thing. The only thing that really helps is like just the airflow that goes over this thing as it's passing through these dunes. But yeah, you make it to the mountains. Can
How
I
are we
get a
even looking?
perception check from whoever wants to try to spot this doorway, this X in the sand, if you will?
Yeah.
I got a 22.
Because somebody is smart enough not to look for an X in the sand.
I'll slow down a bit so we can like take a decent look.
Fantastic. That'll probably help.
Dirty 20.
Dirty 20.
8.
22.
22. Sulade and you don't find it, but you do notice what seems to be a glint off of something. Farther back, the way you came, but still like this far north, so it's off to your east. You would recognize it's as you are made of metal, and you're aware that this is probably a glint off of glass, or it's a glint off of metal. Sulade, you just see this bright flash of something when you look in like the mirror, just like barely catches your attention. But besides that, you guys don't notice anything else. You can continue heading south if you want.
Well, that way. Turn around. To the east.
What?
Why?
East? Why east?
Look there. Do you not see
Something,
it?
there's something shiny over there. It's flashing, but it doesn't look like an X in the sand to me.
Now that it's pointed out to you, Fizzle, you'll also recognize it as a glint off of metal or glass.
Okay, I'll turn it slowly and like. Should we check it out?
I
Sure.
mean, I think the mark is supposed to be here. I don't think we've passed it. I'm pretty sure it has to be against these mountains.
knew
I don't know what that is, though.
I knew I
Oh,
should have brought a
what?
telescope. All right, let's check it out.
I suppose we're walking then. Like savages.
Walking?
Well, we're gonna drive as close as we can.
If you'd like to drive this up the mountain, be my guest.
Well, it's back to the east, away from the mountains. The mountains were to the west.
Oh, it's in the shadow of the mountain, basically.
No, it's back the way you
No.
came.
What about the glint? Isn't that what we're talking about?
Yeah, the glint is back the way you came.
Oh, okay. So, okay.
You know.
I thought you said like we were looking
So
towards
you
the mountain,
guys
something like-
were in the east, and you headed to the west to this mountains, right? This is the mountains. You came from here. You're walking up and down these mountains. Well, you're driving up and down these mountains looking for something.
And then we see the glint off in the
And you
distance.
see a glint back this way.
Oh, okay,
That's
in
what
the
I'm
direction to the
describing.
east,
Yeah.
where the south of the border would be.
Well,
Hypothetically.
you guys crossed. You're on the Ithril side of the border.
I suppose we go back there then.
No, we're gonna head south.
You don't want to figure out what that is?
Not to be like too bossy or anything, but no, we're gonna head south, and while we're going to do that, everyone keep an eye out for a place where we can. That would be a good spot for us to set up an ambush. I think we're being followed.
You want to set up an ambush
Think about it.
in this giant metal cage?
Our crawler was fucked with last night.
Oh yes, don't get me wrong. It's most likely B-Boy.
Yes,
But
exactly.
how are we going to hide this monstrosity
Well,
in the middle of a desert?
I would like to
maybe
point
we'll
out
find
to
a
you the
rock
size
out
of the
walking or
rocks around
something.
us.
Actually, I have an idea.
Oh no.
He's thinking.
I want to
We'll use the goat sled.
No. I have a few friends who'd be willing to make
Yeah,
a distraction for us.
Are we talking about the
The
goats again?
What is it with you and goats?
I'm not talking about Billy, Justin, Kayla, and Philip. Technically, Philip too.
Okay, so
Silly
so
dude,
you
what
know
are you
what,
getting
move
at?
on. What's your idea? What are these friends that can help?
I'll open the left side of my robe. This little patch here. And I'll just close it.
What was it? A patch of?
It just shows like an ugly goblin face.
Oh my god. What the fuck do you possess, soul?
I'm not sure I'm following with where you're going with this, Sailor Day.
I have a few friends close to me, and I'll pat the patch, who they like to celebrate. They're good at making noise and drawing attention to themselves. So why not use it to our benefit?
I reach into my bag of holding and pull out 2 canisters and give them those. Tell them to light them on fire.
Is it going to cause
they're ready.
sparks?
Oh, it's going to do so much more than cause sparks.
Well, good, because things get hot on tender flesh. And I'll just kind of like gesture to my arms.
The fuck does that even mean? That's all Henry
know,
is
but
melting
I'm
under
right
his breath. What the fuck? So you grab these 2 canisters that apparently will make more than sparks. You guys are driving south then along the mountain and just keeping an eye out to the east?
Not me. I'm keeping an eye out for, like I said,
The
our, like,
destination?
ambush or something like
Do you,
that.
How
Okay.
do you think we're being followed? How close?
Not close. He's smart. He's staying far away.
Alright, then I say we keep traveling until we can find a place to rest, and we'll set up a camp, if you will.
Alright, that's a good. Yeah, I like that thought.
Okay.
Alright, I'll open her up a little bit more and get back to cruising speed.
Alright, well, you
Drop the top.
pass through quite a few spots. Like, what exactly are you looking for? Are you looking for a place with one opening? Are you looking for like a bit of a dome? Or like, if you could describe your ideal stopping place, how would you entice me? Or yourself. You know, what's getting the blood flowing here when you're looking for rock formations? You know what I'm saying?
The
couple
dick-shaped
rock
ones.
formations with enough sand in between them that we could drive into and either go around or maybe multiple rock formations in which we could just like zip in and just totally be lost to sight.
Okay, so you're looking for kind of like. I mean, yeah, I mean, you would have to go. It'll make it slower to move, but you could kind of enter more of this mountain range and kind of leave the low-lying foothills you guys have kind of been cruising through.
That'll work. Yeah.
Kind of on a gully or something with
A gully?
A gully?
well, like,
A galleon? Find a galleon?
yeah, the whole ship. Uh, or like a crevasse, like a splitting of the rock. Where there's a passage.
That's the word I was looking
That's
for.
the word. That's the one, ladies and gentlemen. All right. I
Why
mean,
not
yeah, like I
Philip?
said, it's easy enough to enter into this mountain range a little bit more, get a little bit deeper, close yourself off from the east. You'll lose some visibility while you do this. Fair enough, right? Fair enough. I don't make the rules, I just describe the game. So you make your way into this, and you have a plethora of choices here. After about half an hour or so of driving around here, a little bit of measuring here and there, you know, you find what seems like a nice enough way to wedge yourself in if you wanted, or to like pass through some of these. Are you trying to get on top so you're looking down into this crevasse? Are you trying to enter the crevasse? What's your intentions with my crevasse?
I'm gonna enter it slowly and carefully, and basically just try to make sure that we are out of sight,
Yeah, give it a little love.
right around a corner if I have to.
Okay, and are you adding some camouflage to this thing once it's parked, or just park it up and be like, man, we're good?
But we gotta find the spot first.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, you have found what seems like it would work, and you can like get this thing in there. Park it up
Uh,
nicely.
As for hiding it, that's gonna have to be on someone else because I don't really have any decent thoughts on that.
I do have.
Another patch?
Several.
Yes, I do have a few left. This one, it hurts me to do it, but we could make some sort of ramshackle quilt.
Sorry, what?
Uh,
A
How
quilt?
well,
Quilt
something to
won't be
cover
the-
it. Well, depends on how much material you'll have access to. And I always come prepared. That dresser at home was one of 10.
I'm not sure that a quilt would help much.
What if it was all sand colored?
Then it might help.
I
What, you
mean,
think I'm a man of one color?
it should work as the DM. That it is kind of like sandstone colored mountains here. You know, it's every tunnel in here has been kind of carved by wind. You know, so it's very flowy sort of shapes here. You know, it's not like a hard jagged mountain. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, if
Oh.
you have a big enough sheet the right color, I could get up there and drape it over it.
All right, follow me. And I'll just kind of like kick the button to open the ramp as I pass.
Okay.
I want to find a wide space that will let me disassemble
Disassemble
my patch.
your patch. How much space do you need?
More than 10 feet.
I mean, sure. This thing was able to make its way through here, you know, so it's not cramped if the frickin' ground shaker has been able to pass through here. So you just kind of like go off the ramp a little bit back the way this thing came from, to kind of like a crossroads, shall we say, where it's at its widest, and you're able to pull this thing out, and you know, comes out. It's what does it look like? You tell me.
The patch?
Whatever
Um,
comes out of it.
Well, before I release it, I'm gonna be like, be aware that I'm not what you would call stealthy. This may look just a tad out of place in the surroundings. Are we still doing it?
It's better than nothing.
Actually, that would be a good thing. I'd
That's
like
what I
to
wanted
know.
to hear. And I'll throw the patch. I'll like give like a flick of my wrist, like I'm throwing a card, and
Let it rip.
into life will spawn a 15-foot tall, 15-foot wide Matryoshka,
Huh?
A what?
a
A
Russian nesting doll.
Excuse me.
Like I said, it's a little out of
What
place.
what does it look like if you had to
That's-
describe this Matryoshka?
So I'm not certain if the if you were to look it up, it's like it almost kind of like almost looks like a peasant girl with a kind of like a head garb. It's kind of like a hijab sort of thing, and they're usually decoratively painted. They're usually red, have like blonde hair.
If you have a
Um,
picture, you can send it in the Discord chat, and I can bring it up to show the stream. Which, by the way, to those of you watching, thank you. I appreciate it. But yeah, you know, find us a picture. Let me put it up here for everyone. Well, we'll admire Justin's cat in the meantime.
Oh yeah.
Or at least the cat kitty
This-
butt.
Kitty.
Put
Put it
this
on the
up for
desktop.
just a second here while we get this all nice and sorted out.
And then
you
put it
lovely
into
people.
general.
Yeah, general will do.
Upload the file. Desktop. If I could read.
I mean, sound it out. I understand.
And the big.
I need to put it like this in case it's, you know, he sends me something questionable. Alright.
So that's the basis of what a
a
Matryoshka is.
15-foot one of these, eh?
Yes.
How
That's
big is that compared to our ship?
It's 15 feet tall, so it's it's pretty big.
15 feet tall. One of those.
It is basically 3 of me.
Okay. Alright, so this thing spawns out, and Henry's like, I thought you said a quilt. What are we gonna do with that?
Side of it.
What?
No, help me open it.
Okay, so my plan is to go
So I'm gonna like
Just
start
up
struggling to push
onto
this
my
thing open.
shoulder and like try to put it in some ways on top of the ship.
Alright, can I get a strength check with advantage? Or both of you can roll separately.
I'm not putting it on the ship.
Net 20.
So you're struggling with this, and they just kind of walk up, and they just like they have to rather easily since it's hollow, right? They're just taking the top off.
Yeah.
And they start walking towards the ship.
Not
I'm
on the
being
ship.
bolting to like jump up there because I've got like that like.
No,
on...
you do hear him say not on the ship. Do you stop, or are you?
Where else am I supposed to put it?
Throw it on the side. Use it for firewood. I don't care. I need what's inside of it.
What's inside of it?
Well, are you going to help? Are you going to help me open it, or are you going to stand around and
Is
go?
it just another Matryoshka doll? Is that what it is?
Yes, until you get to the center.
Okay, I'm just gonna start lifting these heads up and throwing them to the side.
How many layers deep is this thing, and how small does it get?
It the core is 10 feet tall.
And there's 5, 7,
There's 3 layers.
3 layers. Alright, so you take off one, take off another. There's Matryoshka heads everywhere. What's in the center?
It is a big like a bureau. It's like a full-size wardrobe.
In the center of this Matryoshka doll.
Yes.
Right, and what do you... So, like, Chuk has kind of, like, put these down so they're all looking in. And you have, like, this council of Matryoshka dolls looking at you as you approach your bureau. What item are you retrieving in front of the council that has convened?
I'm just gonna start opening drawers and pulling out color palettes of clothing, holding it up to the stone, and then throwing, like, the stone and rock-colored ones. I'm basically just stripping it of all of my
Is it just like pants and shorts, like just random pieces of clothing?
Yes.
Clothes and whatnot.
It's
Alright,
my
so
personal clothes dresser.
soon enough, there's several piles of stone, sandy colored items strewn across the sand. And
You want something with
think
a little bit more texture? I have a couple sacks.
I'm gonna start taking these and like putting them on the ground shaker in whatever place I think would help. Mostly just breaking up the silhouette of this thing.
Henry's just standing there dumbfounded, scratching his fucking ears, like, flopping up and down as he's going at it, and he's just like, he doesn't know what to make of it. He's a student of the arcane. He's dealt with some of the best, some of the brightest, but somehow you're full of surprises.
Dumbfounded.
And he doesn't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing, but he's
Yes.
willing to watch. Partway through, he'll go up and he'll start casting mending between two pieces of clothing to kind of like sew
Sew
it
'em together.
together very slightly, like here and there where Chick needs help. And eventually you guys have like this makeshift camo net, world's ugliest and ill-fitting quilt, stretched, placed, draped, if you will, across this still bug gut covered machine. It's a little hard to spot, if you didn't know it was there and you were like blind in one eye, you probably wouldn't see it. Depending on what side you walked up on, right? Like if it's on your good eyesight.
You're like, what the
On
fuck?
the plus side, nobody can mistake this for anymore.
Yeah, you'll probably stop looking and say, what the fuck is that? Like
I have a technical question about the ground shaker. I'm assuming it's kind of tight space inside.
I mean, it's decent enough that like it's built kind of like a capsule, right? So it's like a circle. And you have the driver here, you have the back ramp here, and then you have 3 seats, 3 seats, 3, and so you can fit 12 people in total. Right?
Bigger than I thought then. Okay.
Well, like you're sitting, like you're not like man spreading in this thing, you know what I'm saying? But if you pack people in, you'll be surprised. I'm not sure if you've ever been to like the Canadian-Mexico border, but the U.S.-Mexico border, Canadian-Mexico. Yeah, that's just
I didn't even know.
it's not a very well-known border.
Did we buy
The
California?
U.S.-Mexico.
Is that why Trump wanted to build a wall?
The U.S.-Mexico border. You know what I'm saying? Like you can fit a surprising amount of people into a vehicle. That's all I'm trying to get across.
Sardines.
All right. Still, I thought it was more cramped. All right, that answers that.
The Canadian-Mexico border. That's gonna be
That-
my first
that's
piece of
brilliant.
merch when the stream takes off. First piece of merch.
Beautiful.
So,
That and Wolforge Blender. That's the other piece of merch.
what are we doing at the Council of Matryoshka?
Yeah, I mean, like now, like the wardrobe's still in the center. Some of the drawers are like, it doesn't look as grand. It's not as full, right? And there's still the council staring into this thing. What are you guys doing with this 15-foot, 12-foot, and 10-foot head in the sand, staring at its
that's
bottom
kind
half?
of a unforeseen thing there.
You expect me to plan ahead?
Yeah, I mean, it would be a pleasant change. But still, thank you, Seal Day. I mean,
suppose.
you're definitely a man of action, so there's that quality going for you.
I'll take my bag of holding. I'll start like trying to wrangle that corner of the fucking dresser into this bag.
You have a bag of holding.
Yeah, you
What's-
might want to keep or put away whatever you want to keep.
I'm going to
This
start
dresser was a gift from my grandfather.
up.
How big is the dresser?
It's like 10 feet tall. Like
It's probably not fitting into the opening of your sack. You get like the corner in.
I just cut it into bite-sized pieces and just throw it in the fucking.
You start hacking this thing apart.
All right, how about this?
goodness.
How wide is this crevasse?
Where he decided to set this thing up, where you wedged in, like there's a variance. As I said, it's been kind of carved in from the wind, right? So it's not uniform at all.
Okay, then what's the skinniest?
The skinniest?
Yep.
You could probably find it where it gets as skinny as like 3 feet.
Ooh. Wow,
That's one of the tones you didn't want to take. There's other parts of a word over
No,
the top.
oh
20
no,
feet.
sorry. Let me be a bit more
Precise?
accurate. Precise. Using the way that we came in, what's the narrowest?
The narrowest? Well, you had to fit in your ground shaker,
Mhm.
so 20 feet? 15 feet is like where you like really wedged it in, and that's the absolute like tightest you could fit it.
All right, let's put the largest Matroska right in the center of that spot then.
Okay.
I'm-
Alright. So it takes a
Yeah,
little
it's
bit.
probably about like 8 feet across.
Are you helping them to like maneuver this Matroska into its destined position?
Can
Yeah.
I just point out that if we
Are we
decided to,
packing them all back together first, or only put one of them there?
if we decided to, we could put Fizzlewitz in a cage that he would never escape from. Just put the Matryoshka over him, and he's dead to the world.
Just put them
My
inside
bad.
Troshka, even the smallest one.
I mean, he has the god-given powder of black powder. So
Black powder, small contained space.
what could go wrong? He's a gnome.
Halfling.
You're right.
gonna
You're
bend
fucked.
ass.
You're dead.
Oh, I see. If I
A
was
gnome
it
would
be
survive
good.
that,
Yeah.
but
Yes.
you, not quite. Hello. Alright, so you're helping him maneuver this Petroska. Are you guys reassembling it, or what's the...
I'm gonna strip all the clothing out of it, and I'll like silently cry and wipe a couple tears on it as a final goodbye
Okay.
because I can't fit in my bag.
Alright, and where are you positioning this? Can someone... Whoever had this idea, please take the reins here. Describe to me what's happening as he's leaving his
The-
tear-struck-in handprints on this thing.
Right. Narrowest part of where we came in, we'll put the largest Matroska right in the center of that. And inside the Matroska, I'm going to put 40 pounds of black powder.
Jesus Louise.
Okay, and do you have a way...
Take a step back.
Be kind, rewind.
Already erased. Too late.
Are you putting a way to trigger this, or are you just like, here's a keg, hold
I
this
have a
for
way
me?
to trigger it.
Okay, so you're just pretty much
I have
putting
like 5 pounds left.
Fireball?
Okay, so underneath this
Yeah, you know what's
Matroska,
up.
are you putting the other two just like in looking at this one,
I
or
don't care about the other two.
you're just leaving the other
I'll
two?
stack the other two together and load them onto the ship for firewood later.
I mean, it's not the easiest to fit through the doorway. You need to like crumple them a little bit, you know. They
That's
won't be
okay.
pristine.
Or you're just gonna like smash them up, right? That's what I thought.
I mean, I prefer not to have loose pieces of wood like flopping around in the ship.
I've got some string. You can bundle them up.
Okay. So he's setting this one up. He puts his powder under. Meanwhile, in the back, you're just going ham on these other two Matroskas, just cracking their face, breaking them up, you're going hard. And then you get a little bit of string from Fizzle, and you tie it into a nice little bundle, and you stick him under the seats.
I'm doing math. Hold on. Please continue.
Is that what that smell is? That burning?
The burning. I thought I was having a stroke.
Me too.
Oh, toast!
The more I play this campaign, the more I think this is the end. But you get that done. You have it set up, right? What's the next plan here? So you got the firewood in, you got the one in the center, you have the world's ugliest camo quilt net thing.
I think the only thing left to do beyond whatever Day is doing with his friends, is to hide and wait.
All right. So you're going to find a nicer place to hunker down. What are you doing?
Well, like I said, I'm just packing up the matryoshkas.
All right. So you're busy
Or
doing that.
most of them.
So that leaves you, Day, alone and unattended. What's
no.
the what's the plan?
Um, let me pull up my character sheet.
Hey, Henry, you might want to move far away and hide.
You see, he's already like inside the ground shaker, and he's
Oh,
like,
no, you don't want to hide there.
"I don't.
No,
What's a good place to hide then?"
just be sure. Go, keep on going further into the crevasse.
Um,
I'm going.
okay. And he
I'm going
gets out,
to.
heads back behind it, and gets a little deeper.
I'm going to start tearing apart more clothing,
Okay.
and I'm going to tie them across a set of rope I spawn out of my robe. So basically, I want to make like a cloth door. Like sometimes you'd enter a basement, they're super poor, and there's like a bed sheet hanging from a rope as a visible divider.
Okay.
Or is that just forest lawn shit? So basically, I want to make a visible divider between outside and inside, so you can't just like look straight through the crevasse and see everything. And then I want to start making a campfire.
I think I see what you're saying, but if you could explain that in like one more way, that might. So you're grabbing a bunch of rope and you're just like sectioning this off
Yes. So
with a
basically,
bunch of clothes hanging from it, like some destroyed, disheveled dry cleaning line. Is that?
yes. And then, so basically, my intent is to someone walking through. I want to have the fire casting shadows kind of through or on the clothes
Are you
to make
making this
silhouettes.
fire under the Matroska doll? Just
No. 3 feet away.
3 feet away, in front of it. So it's like it has like this the firelight. It looks a
Big
little
mama.
demonic. So if you want to push through this
You could just see
string
this
clothing
ominous Matryoshka staring at you.
over a campfire, that's okay. Okay.
Yeah. So I'm going to ask for a little bit of help. Would you mind helping me set up a campfire? I would like to make a big one. And I'll raise my eyebrows a little bit and get a little
You
excited.
mean your eyebrow?
Ooh.
It moves with my skin.
Well, he has that, and he has the angry eyebrow. The other
He's
side.
got an angry eyebrow drawn on. Has it gone smudged at all during all of this when he cried?
No, he's pretty good. I mean, like tears go down, not up. We're not in space. Be realistic. What the hell?
Wait, please?
15-foot Matryoshka, be realistic.
But luckily, you do have the firewood for this if you wanted it.
Yep. So I'll start like
willing.
I'll start assembling a bonfire.
Okay. So you get this all set up. You light it up. Big bonfire. It's now starting to get dark. You guys have been at this for a couple of hours, moving this, setting this up, disassembling that, getting the firewood out. This is probably about the time that you went and you camped last time. So it's probably about, we'll say, 8 p.m., 9 p.m. Who's keeping track here? But it's set up. You got a nice
I
little
know
bonfire.
exactly what time it is.
I'll be like,
okay.
37. And 36 seconds.
okay, now's the time that my master plan comes to fruition. I don't know what time you want to start this ambush, but my friends are getting anxious.
Henry whispers, I think it's up to them, and when they show up,
Yeah, kind of. We gotta wait.
we don't get to just choose.
Fine.
Fine.
So, with a little flourish, Sir Lydia will throw the patch in the air, kind of do a hand gesture like this, and spread out. And out of it will spawn 6. They're They're average-looking goblins, all dressed head to toe in very fancy lingerie.
Nope. Not gonna ask. Okay, so what's your plan?
Henry just walks deeper into the crevasse.
Well, now we give them a little alcohol and just let them do their thing.
I'm worried to ask what their thing is.
Party. This is how I get away from people. They come looking
I
for
have
me. They
never
see a
seen a
bunch
party
of
with goblins. I'm
of
interested to observe.
undulating goblins, and most people are left a little disturbed.
I'm
So I'll walk up to them and I'll start muttering to them in Goblin.
What are you saying in Goblin?
I'm going to put down the 2 bottles of wine I have in my backpack. I'll put them down. I'll be like, okay, so use these, have fun. If a man shows up with bees, throw these at the giant scary face. And I'll hand them the 2 things that.
You have to light them first,
Well, these.
just so you know.
Do you speak Goblin?
No, I don't.
You have no idea what he's. You just see he passes these to the goblins and gestures at the face.
Oh my god, goblins with those things. Fuck.
This is the
Seriously,
best
that's
ambush
not a good idea.
I have ever heard of.
This is the worst. We are
If-
not good planners.
If anyone in chat, if any of you have any artistic talent, please draw this. Please. I need to see this.
What are we supposed to be drawing exactly?
Alright, so
These goblins.
we're looking at a windswept crevasse shaped by the wind, uneven walls, right? We have a giant mech in the back on these big paddled feet. We have it covered in suits, ties, socks, underwear sewn together by magic, all raw colored. In front of this, you have a giant. What the fuck is it called?
a council of Matryoshka.
A council of Petroskas staring at this fire, lighting them up, and now we have 6 goblins in underwear, 2 of them wielding grenades, dancing and drunk. And
With
to
the
throw-
dresser.
And to frame this scene, we have a bunch of socks, ties, pants tied together from one end of the canyon to the other to really frame this. This is the battleground you guys have crafted through hard fought
Home field
ingenuity,
advantage.
a little bit of
I feel
creativity.
like we should be able to psychologically torment anybody that arrives.
This is this is our element.
Pull out my arcane firearm and just
And I'm
Hit
trying
my
out
mouth.
a putty. I don't know what a putty is, but I'm hoping they teach me.
Oh my god.
Yeah, so I'm just gonna let them sit there and get drunk.
Alright. Do they party hard, or is it like an
They
awkward,
party. They party hard.
they just sit down and drink and cry?
they're having a rager.
Alright.
The best rager 6 goblins can throw.
Okay, and what are the rest of you guys doing? Sorry, I'll need to call him back. 1 second, let me just deal with that.
Do you
While
need to
do
go
that-
back?
While you do that, can I take a moment to grab a drink?
Sure. We can,
We're taking a small break.
yeah,
No, I just need,
well,
like, a minute.
we're ending this
Really.
pretty soon here, about 9 or
Yep.
so. So how about we do a 5-minute break, get your drinks, come back, and then we'll just kind of see where this goes from there.
Downhill.
Alright, so let me put this to the be right back, and I'll see you guys in 5 minutes. Thank you for coming down and joining us for, whatever this was. Alright, guys, welcome back. So, I believe we just did the recap before we left off, and I don't see any new people in the stream. So, very quick recap on what we had. You guys finished this, everything's set up. Fizzle is hiding at this point. Henry is.
Yeah.
I didn't realize I was deaf
There you
at
go.
that time.
There
I was
you
just
go.
doing the re-intro. So, you
Way to
guys
go.
have this set up. Henry's hiding at this point. Fizzle's also taking cover. So the last two that are still out in the open right now are Day, 6 goblins in various lingerie, and Chick. Are you two following suit and seeking cover, or what's the plan here?
I am attempting to learn what a party is.
So you wish to dance with the goblins?
Yeah, I'm dancing with the goblins.
Okay, so you're interacting with them, and what's Day doing?
Day is just going to walk back to the ship and enjoy a little snack.
Okay, so you walk back, and with that, you guys are going to just kind of wait and see what happens, or what's the next step here? The goblins are slowly getting rowdier and rowdier as like they are starting to drink, and everyone's just kind of, really starting to lose their shit here.
Just as a little side note, I looked up the amount of energy 40 pounds of black powder create. It's equivalent of a 5 on the Richter scale.
That's
Jesus!
Oh, what?
impressive. You guys might
That's
need
like
to
highly
back up.
localized, though.
Yes.
You might need to back up a little bit more. You guys are in a crevasse.
Look, this is how I do things, okay?
Never.
As for what we're doing, if it's getting too dark, I'm putting on my goggles of night, and I'm paying very much attention to the entrance, let's call it.
Okay, so you're just scoping out and waiting for that.
Mm.
You're having a snack. Are you going to just stay in there and eat and just kind of like keep an eye out as well? And then
Yeah, for the most part. I would have told the goblins to stay here till morning.
and then what?
Then they can do whatever the fuck they want. I don't control them.
You drink until morning, and then you're your own people. Okay, okay.
I made you!
Just hang out and drink, and then you can do whatever you want to do, man. And they're like, I just live. What? Where did I come from?
Do I have a SIN number?
Why am I naked? Alright, and are you going to stay and dance with them all night, or are you planning to at some point make your exit once you figure out that partying means various forms of thrusting at each other, drinking, screaming, fighting
Undulating.
way too close to a fire, almost burning yourselves? There's maybe a bit of crying and a little bit of confusion. As I said, they have no idea where they came from or what's going on, but they're here now and they're drunk, so
Lethal.
I'm gonna hang out with them. I'm gonna see what they have to teach me about
Lethal hip thrusting.
no hips.
partying.
Alright,
And I will ask them, like, does a proper party require that you stay out all night?
do you speak Goblin?
I don't think so.
Then you try talking with them, but you just get like these like
Weird yappling gurgles.
yeah, and then like one of them like hands you, like he reaches up, and you're pretty tall, so he holds up a drink for you.
I will drink it.
Alright, can you roll a con saving throw?
Yes, I
We'll
can.
just see roughly how drunk you're going to get over this.
I imagine
Alcohol is a language everyone speaks.
Yeah, it's the
22.
universal translator.
these were meant to get me drunk off my ass, so I imagine it's like absinthe level. Like, it's supposed to last a while.
Okay, I mean, they're still holding it pretty well, probably because they are bioforged. I need a perception check from you, Fizzle, as you are the only one that has realized you still have a job here. Dancing goblins,
Once
flaming
again,
mamushka dolls aside, there is a purpose for this madness.
There is a method to the madness.
There's a plan here, somewhere.
okay, not bad, not bad. 17.
17. I mean, it's hard to hear over the yabbling of the goblins, and the warforged is kind of getting into it too. And as they try to learn to dance with these, and it's like
To pop lock and drop it.
they're getting taught. The goblin dance is twerking. I don't know how these goblins dance. They kind of make it up, They don't. They're not very aware of their culture.
It's
you
like
know?
like a weird peyote, fucking undulating.
Yeah, so
There's no rhythm.
it's definitely a
no.
ruckus. There's a ruckus coming from around this campfire. But
Can I roll to see how well I dance in acrobatics?
sure. I mean, you're definitely into character, sounding like a robot. But let's get a performance check.
Beep boop.
Beep boop.
It's a 3.
A 3.
Plus 3 dexterity, so a 6.
A 6. I mean, you're definitely trying to copy the goblins. For better or for worse, you're pulling it off. Not to say goblins can't dance, but these ones are not footloose. You know what I'm saying? They're a little
Off their
drunk.
Sunday shoes.
But what I'm getting at here is this is all going on. Day, you're there eating, I don't know. What food did you bring? Cheese? Are you just eating cheese?
Smoked meat and
Crackers?
like a trail mix.
Nice. You're just there with like a dry sausage munching away. Fizzle. You can hear the sound of like footsteps coming through this. Coming towards the campsite.
Pull out a wand.
I would. No one else seems to notice anything, and it passes for a little bit, and then a hand peeks out, and it like grabs a pair of pants and pulls it to the side to gleam what's going on, and it sees the 6 goblins. Some still wearing lingerie, some wearing less than what they started with, dancing around. The fires may be grown by 1 or 2 pairs of loincloths. They see the Maruska doll with the fire lighting it, and it looks terrifying in this dark, cold crevasse.
Hellscape.
And you watch as the hand slowly retracts. Couple minutes pass.
Nope. Well,
Yeah,
that's really all that I need to know.
that's all you need to know.
Yeah. Fireball the big Matroska.
Okay. Quick thing. You have keen mind.
Yeah.
You saw a pair of gloves on this hand that the bug guy did not have.
Ooh.
Fireball it anyways.
Yeah. Ooh. Mm.
You have 3 seconds to decide, otherwise the hand's coming back again. 3,
Waiting.
2. Alright. The
I'm
hand
waiting.
peeks out and it moves. And this time you see another person appear. And there seems to be 3 people looking in at this. And then it closes again. Couple of minutes pass. It opens again. You see a 4th person now. And they're all looking in at this, trying to make out what the fuck is going on.
Okay.
At this
I'm
point-
taking a close. What did these people look like?
Do you have like a scope?
Alright.
Like a telescope?
I got
So
my goggles.
you're
right
aware
on.
of this as well now, because now like
Yeah.
they've opened it fully. So what you see is 4 people. You don't recognize their clothes, but Fizzle, you do. You recognize them as they have battle mage armor on. They're from Ithril, whoever they are. One of them, well, all of them have a similar patch of the Voprin family, and it's kind of like this clasp that holds their cloaks. And you see, like, they all have that, and then the one in the front has another one that kind of dictates him as, like, a sergeant looking into this.
To like, there's some weird spooky
Yeah, and
shit
they're
going
all
on.
wearing,
Is
like,
there-
they have very nice robes, but then they all also have, like, a metal breastplate over top. The clasp of, like, the house that holds this cloak, and the cloak they could, like, put over their head to, like, block the sand. It looks like they're kind of just for, desert wear, except for the giant, shiny metal breastplates. And you also notice that one of them has a spyglass that might have been giving off a glint from a distance.
Mm.
And they're currently standing here and they're like talking amongst themselves. But like I said, Chuk, you see this as well. And you kind of like, you lock eyes with one of them. And there's just like this tense moment, and they're waiting to see what you guys are going to do. The goblins haven't noticed. They're raging, they're drinking.
Can I just wave to them?
You're inside. You're eating fucking hardtack. You're hoping your teeth don't snap off. That's what you're doing. Stay in your
Okay.
lane.
How heavy is the Matryoshka doll?
It's half of it, so it's like 7.5 feet of just solid wood.
Yeah, it's
They're pretty heavy.
pretty heavy.
So you're saying is I can't pick it up and yeet it?
You could
I
if
mean-
you really wanted to. It won't be like you'll need to roll for it. If that's what you're down to do. If you're trying to clown that way, there's dice involved.
I'm gonna throw a goblin at them. The nakedest one that's here.
The nakedest one. All right, roll for it.
Yeah.
I didn't know this was a goblin throwing contest.
Buddy.
I
What?
brought my slingshot.
What did you say?
At 20.
Nat 20. All right. Do you want to quickly disconnect and reconnect and see if that fixes your robot voice? And then I'll describe to you what happens.
Fine.
Oh, finally, she's gone. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Welcome back. All right, so you pick up this goblin, and like
Yes, I do.
your hand's big enough that you kind of like palm him by his head, and you
Like a
pull
little
your
bowling
arm
ball.
back, and you whip him, and he just goes spinning, head over heels towards them, and he collides with one of them, and it's with enough force that the guy kind of like bends backwards. It's like a really shittily done Matrix, where you're like, that probably hurt his back.
He's gonna have back problems for the rest of his life.
Yeah, and he goes down, and the other three look down, and they look up. And we're gonna roll initiative here to see what happens.
Okay.
Unless any of you has something immediate you want to declare here as to what you're doing. We're kind of in a surprise of where we're kind of going into initiative. So need to show reactions, anyone, last call.
What about?
Fireball, alright.
Fuck it.
I'm just gonna stumble out with the sausage in my mouth and be like, what the fuck's happening?
Alright, I need you to make a dex saving throw.
Oh, no, I'm fireballing my trap.
I know, they're dancing in
Oh,
front
okay.
of it.
Yeah.
They're involved. So are the goblins. I'll roll for them.
Remember a 5 on the Richter scale? Remember that?
20.
You
No,
have
this one's
tinkering
not on me.
tools. They're a robot. It's fine. They decided to dance in
20,
front of the gunpowder.
To yeet my shit out of the way after I yeet a goblin.
Alright. Let me look up. You said 20 pounds of black powder, eh?
No. I
40.
said 40.
It's his entire fucking thing.
Okay.
No, well, I used a little bit to make a couple grenades. I might, if I'm lucky, I might have 5 pounds left.
What are you
Maybe.
taking cover at?
I would think like 60 feet away. Either like behind a rock, or if there's no available rocks, then I would have like dug myself into the sand.
Okay, so
Can I go to the moon with my dash?
here's
action?
what happens. We're going to first describe it from
Devon.
Sealaday's perspective. Sealaday, you hear all of this ruckus. You hear them dance, and you're hearing a good time. And then it gets quiet for a second. And then you hear like the faintest ting, as it sounds like a body collides with something metal. There's another brief pause, and then you just hear, and then you hear a huge explosion. The entire thing rocks, and you just hear rocks coming down. You hear, it's so loud. You think you're going to go deaf inside of this metal contraption as the world outside just explodes and crumbles, and you don't know what the fuck happened.
Really, all
Outside.
you would hear would be.
Well, that's the next thing that happens.
Tinnitus?
You know, first this happens, and then the tinnitus sets in, right? But before the tinnitus, you're like, "What the fuck?" Outside, you watch as this thing explodes, and then you watch the goblins go flying. You know, first there's the fire. There's just the briefest like streaks of green. You also see go flying, and they hit the side of the mountain, but as they hit it, it kind of disintegrates as it goes, as the rock is crumbling in this cross, and everything's coming down. Luckily, you're far enough away in that direction, but the goblins, everything else just goes up in this plume of smoke and dust, and, like, you're just waiting for the debris to clear.
Yes.
Can
I'm
you
so
roll a
sorry.
percentile die?
I'm really so sorry.
No, you're not. Don't you let
I
him.
kinda am, but I'm kinda not.
There you go.
Oh man. What did do to you?
I
It's
thought
not
you
like
would have
it's
remembered that I had set the massive trap.
This is why I both love and hate D&D.
So, do you want to guess what I rolled?
What did you roll?
Yeah, he got it!
What? What?
Yahtzee!
One.
Snake eyes!
Right. Luckily, you don't need to breathe. You also take about 50 points of damage between the explosion and the impact, and all you see is darkness. No one can
Hello,
see
darkness, my old
any
friend.
part of you right now. And at this point, Shillita, you come walking out, and you see what used to be a canyon. Now you just see rocks.
So, between the wasp stings earlier, getting healed, and now this, I am at a single hit point, so I'm just gonna stay here until somebody comes to get
It's like
me.
blackjack, just don't raise. just stay.
Hold.
I'm just gonna stay here until somebody gets me.
Alright, there's a couple extremities sticking out. You see, like, maybe a goblin leg. Oh wait, that's not attached to anything. There's just a goblin leg, like the base of these.
It's like a
rocks.
drumstick.
You see, like, another hand, like, sticking out someplace. You like, it maybe still has fingers. You're not sure. You'll need to go up there and try to count them.
I'm just gonna power down until somebody wakes me up.
You guys hear Henry, and like he had his ears up. Now they're like folded down, and he's like really pressing them against his poor little rabbit skull, and he's
Is
like,
he bleeding? Are his ears bleeding?
maybe under those ears. But I need to know, like, what are you guys doing to see this? Chick is gone. The last person that saw it was Fizzle, and you saw them roughly go at an angle this way. There was rocks there. There was a wall. They're in the wall somewhere.
Technical question. I had the goggles of night on. Am I blind now?
Night vision.
Fuck it, let's get a percentile.
You lose sight in your left eye.
That's my other.
I won't say no.
it's the
21.
mushroom cloud.
21. Like,
Disadvantage all perception checks.
everything, like, you also have the bad tendency. You hear the ringing in your ear. The goggles, like, you can't see anything, and you lift them up expecting it, right? And what you see is, like, the world is, like, just a blinding white. Like, everything's just fucking dilated to the max. Have you ever been, like, snowblind?
Oh yeah.
It's it's basically that. That's what you're dealing with here. Sealiday, you finished your sausage, you're at the top of the ramp. You're deaf as fuck, but you're probably in the best condition.
What? Just gotta double check my fucking sheet here, see if there's anything I can do.
I'm gonna take a moment to like get myself together.
I'm just gonna pull out my flute and with like a solitary note, just go, what the fuck?
just a high F, an F sharp.
Yeah. I'll slowly make my way down the ramp and kind of trudge through the stones.
Yeah, I mean,
Like,
as
just
you're
walk on top
walking,
of
like,
them.
you're getting covered in dust. Like, it's still fucking everywhere. Like, you were clean, but as soon as you step off that ramp, like, you're as white as the rest of them.
I'm just gonna keep looking around for signs of the little one, or presumably whoever set off the trap.
I mean, Henry joins you as well, and he's talking to you, but you can't hear a fucking thing he's saying. You look at him and you just go, as he's yapping at you. And he's like gesturing, and he picks up the leg at some point, and he's waving it at the rocks, and he holds it out to you like he wants you to take it.
I'm just gonna take it and just be like, I'm gonna start shaking the drumstick in vague directions.
Okay. And he gets on the rocks, and like he's trying to move them, but like he can't. So he moves to the side, and he casts a spell, and you watch like a giant hand appears, and he uses it to start picking up rocks, and he starts slowly moving them, and once in a while, everything shifts, and he just stops. And everyone waits, and they settle. He starts picking up more rocks.
Do we see
Who wants to roll
or-
a percentile die to see if any of these rocks covers Chick Chick or covers Chick Chick? Who wants?
Well,
How about Chick Chick does it? This is your life or death. You have 1 health. What's what do you say?
has
I leave this up to them.
did I hear any shifting metal or like any rocks running against a chess piece?
You can't hear a guy talking to you
Oh, yeah,
3
never mind.
feet from your face. Like, sure, you probably think you hear it.
I just rolled a 17.
17. Don't worry about it. We'll cross that bridge when we come to it. What are you doing? Anything else to help, or what's you just watching this happen?
Do I have like my sight back at least?
Slightly. You can now see probably about 10 feet in front of you if you squint
It's just
really hard.
fucking Helen Keller, deaf, dumb, and blind.
I'm like getting right now. I'm just getting off of my knees and onto my feet and like stumbling forward and trying to see where I am and just the situation basically.
Yeah, I mean, like it's odd because like you're not all there, right? So you think you stumbled a little bit, and then like you reach out on like your hands like against the machine all of a sudden, and then like you take a few more steps and you focus again, and suddenly you're against the rocks, and it's very disorienting for you, right? You can't hear, you can't see, it's very hard to really place yourself as you're walking around, but you are by the rocks after what seems like a couple of moments.
Holy shit! That was not what I expected. All I hear is
Yeah,
even
I mean,
inside my head.
Seal Day, you watch as like the gnome just like stumbles, and he takes like 5 minutes to make the most winding path towards you, and then he proceeds to talk. Like Ariel's webcam is basically what you hear.
Yes.
Ariel, can you reconnect again?
That's sounding funny.
You'll see. You'll see it if she ever watches this. All right. Can I get some perception checks with disadvantage to see if we can dig up Chick
You,
Chick
you
Chick's
gotta
in
go.
power saving mode. They're just praying. They're finding God.
I got a 4 plus a 9, so 13.
13,
10.
10. All right. With the two of you and a little bit of
Powers
help since you
combined.
saw which way they went, you do manage to uncover a foot after a little bit of digging. It's going to take a little bit more to get them out, but this is...
Is it attached to anything?
You want to give it a tug?
I can solve that really quick.
Yeah, what
Go
are you
ahead.
going to do?
I'm just gonna
Fireball!
kinda like drunkenly fumble around, open my robes, and like inspect myself, grab 2 patches that are like over top of my nipples, and I'm just gonna throw them at the ground. And I'm gonna make 2 2x2 windows. Just in the rock.
In the rock. Right, so you put 2 windows, and suddenly, like, you can get to where Chick Chick is. They somehow lucked out enough that, like, you could probably pull them out from here. But when you grab them and you start moving them, they're unresponsive. You've never seen them this still.
Just like grab them, rip the arm off. Fuck.
After, roll a... You don't need to roll. You guys work together. Same with Henry, and you guys pull out Chick Chick's body from the rubble.
Did we get him?
You're looking down, and, like, they are badly crushed. Like their chest plate is caved in, their face plate is just covered in scratches. Their back also looks like quite a few things kind of snapped from a hard impact here.
Okay. Not sure if I can even cast, but I'll try another Cure Wounds at level 2.
Okay.
If it requires verbal components, you're speaking like Helen Keller. You can't pronounce properly. Spell no work.
If it does work, it's a 15. Which
Okay.
I doubt it's gonna work.
What happens, good soul?
Uh, what needs to happen for you to power back on?
Oh, you just need to hit the reset button in the.
Oh no.
Where's that?
Like
There's
we
a quick place for a reset button.
All right,
on
so you
prostate.
heal them, but nothing happens.
It's
Yep.
right here. It's right here. There's
They
a
don't know
reset-
where it is. You don't
yeah,
know
you
where
never
it
told
is.
us that. Wow, we were totally fucked with you if we had known that.
Roll an investigation check for me, my friend Fizzle.
I'm just gonna like vaguely gesture to the ship, and I'm like,
Oh, fucking hell.
Fucking hell.
Even with my bonus, that's a 10.
A 10. I mean, you barely managed to find this thing. You kind of like think to yourself, well, I should find a pulse. And as you're looking for the carotid artery here, you don't know if they have it. You find like this weird button that's kind of glowing. And you hit that and like you come back to life at this point. Back to consciousness, I should say, after your little reboot cycle. And that's where we will end today's session. So, thank you guys for joining us. I hope you enjoyed.
it's the Windows XP sound.
Also, it isn't totally finished yet, but
Hey. Hey. Nice.
Alright. Thank you guys on Twitch
Thanks for
for
watching.
joining us. And we
Yeah,
will
thanks
see
for
you
joining
guys
our stupidity.
in a week or two, whenever the next one is. Bye-bye.
Thanks, guys. See you later.